How's that, mi gente? Mic check 1 2 1 2. Cherokee Bill said I sound like the Mexican from Black Panther. Do I? Do I? I'll take that as a compliment, honey, because I liked every Mexican in Black Panther. So I'll take that as a compliment. How do I sound now, guys? Let's get this party started. So we can get, okay, it's better now. Is it better? Monumental, you thought I blocked you? Did I have a reason to block you? Because I block a lot of people. I block a lot of people. Did you say some stupid shit and I missed you? Should you be blocked? Okay. Hola, mi gente. Welcome to another episode of On the Block with Jen. I am YouTube's bad girl, Jen. Yes, we doing this again. I am on the block with Jen on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I'm also on the block with Jen at Gmail. If you want to email me something, be it a topic, request for collaboration, an interview of some sort. When you send me topics, it doesn't mean I'm going to pick them. Okay. You guys send me a lot of topics, which I'm very, very grateful for. But some I just feel like, I don't want to talk about this. I don't really have anything to add to this particular thing. With that said, I have gotten some great topics that I have used and I will use, moving forward in the future. But don't harass me about, hey, I sent you a topic 3 weeks ago and you didn't do it. Okay. It's a suggestion box. That's all it is. Okay. It's a suggestion box. Okay. Some suggestions are good. Some are like, nah. Okay, if you want to support this show and you want to help Mama keep the church lights on, hit me at the Cash App On the Block with Jen. If you're catching the replay, On the Block with Jen, Cash App is open 24 hours a day. So I may be asleep, but I'll get your notification. If you want to do it live while you're here, hit that super chat $ at the bottom of the chat box on the right, okay? All right. Monumental. You ain't got to be quiet. You just got to be respectful. You ain't got to be quiet. I welcome rebuttals, retorts, arguments, disagreements, contradictions. I welcome all of that shit. Just, you know what I'm saying? Keep it respectful. Don't get too crazy. Moderators, thank you for holding me down in the chat. If you have a wrench, you know what to do with it. I can't pay attention to all these fools, okay? Hello, new subbies. I got a lot of new subbies. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you are enjoying. I'm enjoying having you here. And don't forget, anyone is welcome up to my panel, long as you don't act the monkey ass fool up here. You are welcome. I'm going to drop the link early to get my people up here. What's up, beautiful, necessary evil? How are you, doll? I'm going to drop the link early in case my guys are floating around or scrolling around and they see that I'm on and they want to come up. I wanted to get into the starter wife thing. Oh, my God. Did you know that the Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion trial has started? Ooh, it is messy, honey. It is messy. She's still saying that, Tory Lanez shot at her. Tory Lanez is saying, no, the hell I didn't. Then there's a side that's saying the argument started over, what the fuck is that girl, the fake ass girl, Kylie Jenner. They're saying that the fight started because of her, because Tory was trying to holler at her. And then the other side is saying the fight started because Tory slept with Meg Thee Stallion and her friend who was in the car, and Tory was like, why are you doing your friend like that? Like the trial is a mess, and it's really way too early to even tell or gauge or predict who's gonna win, because it is so messy. That he say she say is on steroids. Okay, everybody's he say she say. Meg Thee Stallion took the stand today with her usual attitude. I don't even know. I can't even believe why I'm literally said in court on the stand. I can't even believe I'm here and I got to do this. Meg Thee Stallion has that round the way girl attitude on her. She doesn't know how to turn it off. In court, she doesn't know how to code switch. Code switching is good, people. Sometimes you got to code switch, right? You can't be the ass everywhere you go, right? Time and place. And unfortunately, a lot of these younger artists, they don't have PR people anymore, and they don't know time and place. So they act the ass wherever they go. And sometimes that doesn't work in your favor. It works great, at the Soul Train Music Awards. It works great on a track. Not so much in court, right? Not so much in court. You have to help your attorney help you. So you can't go up there acting the whole ass if you want people to believe you. So it's a very, very messy case, right? Tory says he didn't do it. Meg Thee Stallion says he did do it. I guess we have to wait for the medical reports. I'm sure there's a bullet hole somewhere if she actually got shot. I saw a picture of the injury. It looks horrible. It's like peeled skin down to the white and red meat. I can't really see a bullet hole. Some people saying she stepped on glass. It's a mess. It is a hot mess. I can't even predict what way that thing is going, but that is happening as we speak. And she did take the stand today for like 45 minutes. Hot mess, hot mess. I don't know what you guys think. Some guys, and most of the guys are on Tory's side, of course, because guys stick up for guys. A lot of the women are on Meg Thee Stallion's side because, you know, this has turned into a gender war. This is no longer just somebody simply got shot, possibly got shot and shouldn't have got shot. It has turned into a fucking gender war, his word against her word, and vice versa, right? Nobody gives a fuck about the facts or somebody got hurt. It's all about who's the man, so I can take his side. That's how men are looking at it. And women are like, who's the woman that got injured? I'll take her side. Little silly, but that is, you know, the world we live in now, especially with social media. The gender wars are thick on these machines, all right? A little silly, but, you know, a lot of people project their feelings for men and women online, right? All those unresolved issues they have with the opposite sex, all those unresolved issues they have with their parents, right? Hate their mamas or hate their daddies, daddy issues, mommy issues, left and right for men and women. And they project that on every incident that happens, right? Unfortunately, that's the new world order. That's where we live now. So I wanted to get into this starter wife thing because I find it to be a very, very interesting phenomenon, right? The starter wife. Let me get you the technical definition. I can tell you what I think it is, what I see it to be, and I can show you a picture. But just for shits and giggles, to be technical, I know some people have no idea what that means, believe it or not. Some people are like, what the hell is a starter wife? What the hell does that even mean? For some of you, it is exactly what it sounds like, but I'll just read it again for shits and giggles. Starter wife meaning. A starter wife is a woman who gets married and supports her husband when he is nothing. Supports him during medical school, taking the bar exam, for example, etc. Then after getting him to where he is very successful and making tons of money, he divorces her for another wife. So that is the starter wife, some also known as the ride or die. Now let me throw this picture up for you so you can see this thing here. I found it very interesting. So I just plucked a couple men at random that are famous that I think had starter wives. And when I show you this picture, you will see what a starter wife looks like, right? To these men, apparently. You know, just women that struggled with these men while they were nothing and didn't have money, like the definition says. I didn't make it up. That's what it is. That's a starter wife. So I picked a couple men at random who we know who are very, very famous, right? And we're going to talk a little bit about, is the starter wife suitable for fame? Because remember, the starter wife was there holding him down, ride or die. Then he got fame and money. Is that starter wife suitable for the next phase in that man's life? Okay. Because I'm going to break it down. You know, a lot of people think love conquers all, but it is not. It sells cards and cookies and wedding rings, but love does not conquer all. And a lot of people say, if you was with me shooting in the gym, if you was down for me, then you're going to be with me forever when I blow up. That's usually not the case. Okay, that's usually not the case. But is it within good reason? Is it just that one person is suitable for this part of your life and not part of the next phase? So let me show you these pictures while I bring up my guys. Tristan, Brother Ish. I'm losing my voice, so y'all gotta bear with. Hello. All right, so I'm gonna show the picture again. Let's look at some starter wives before we continue. Let's look at some starter wives, quote unquote. So here we go. We have, take this down because I want to be clear. Give people the idea. So here we have Kevin Hart on the left, his first wife, right? Tory. And then we got Steve Harvey and his first wife. Then we have Dwayne Wade and his first wife, and Derek Jackson and his first wife, and 50 Cent. Okay, they weren't married, but that's his baby mama. She was with him when he got shot and he was struggling, didn't have no money, right? Living penny to penny or crack to crack, because, he was out there slinging rock along with, the rest of us. So these are basically starter wives. These are the wives that started with these guys when they weren't famous, right? Or filthy, filthy rich. And then fame happened and they got traded in for hotter, sexier, younger, and even, dare I say, lighter skinned women. All of them. All of them. With the exception of, I want to be fair, with the exception of Dwayne Wade, but Dwayne Wade is now with Gabrielle Union, okay, who has a younger look, right? More hip, right? Has her own fame. So, Dwayne Wade's ex-wife still got traded in. Now we can say, well, you know what? Divorce happens. But come on, guys. We see this happen over and over and over again. In the men's defense, if they need a defense, is it just that these women are not suitable for the next phase? Yes, that is Derek Jackson. The picture Tristan just threw up, that is Derek Jackson. But I'm gonna do one better, Tristan. I'm gonna do one better. I'm gonna put up a picture of Derek Jackson while he was married to his starter wife. So let's be clear. I like to show and tell. That is Derek Jackson there. The woman with the glasses, that's Derek Jackson's first wife, okay? Then there was a scandal. He cheated on her, blah, blah, blah. They released the book of healing after the cheating. Eventually, a couple years later, he's like, I'm done. I'm out, right? And he's already running around with the newer, younger, lighter models, right? So let's look at Derek Jackson while he was married to that woman, where he first began, okay? What's up, Haran? I'm losing my makeup. What's popping? So let's look at Derek Jackson on the left. That is what he looked like when he had his starter wife, right? When he was with his wife, that is how she took him. That is how she held him down. That is what he looked like when she was cooking his meals, washing his ass, cleaning his drawers, doing the laundry. That is what her husband looked like. Okay. That is what her husband looked like. That is who she said forever with. And then fame, fortune, a better body happened, right? And it happens to a lot of people. They want to make a change in their life. They're like, you know what? I don't like how I look anymore. I want to look better. I want to feel better. So he turned into the guy on the right. So this is before and after. Now let's keep it 100. Let's pull up his wife again. That's her with the glasses, bottom right. Okay. Smiling with Derek Jackson. That's her there, the girl, the woman with the glasses. Is that woman suitable for not only fame and fortune, but for a man that looks like this now? Can he bring that woman into his new life? Let's ask some real questions. I know people are not going to like it, because generally the idea of marriage and the idea of somebody, Tristan, don't leave, and the idea of somebody holding you down when you're at your worst, and not even at your worst, but when you're at your nothing. Let's say when you're at your nothing, because you don't even got to be at your worst. What if you're just at your nothing? You don't have fame, looks, or money, right? People think that the person that's with you in that phase of life, you have to bring them with you forever, especially if you come up with money and you come up with fame. What do you guys think? I mean, I have my thoughts, but I'm going to pause right there and pass the mic. We saw the before and after. Derek Jackson is a whole new person. Are these women suitable for the next phase of life? When we look at it, 50 Cent, Dwayne Wade, Derek Jackson, Steve Harvey, Kevin Hart, are those women suitable for the new life, for the parties, for the money, for the Prada, for the Gucci, for the Louis Vuitton, right? For the Yves Saint Laurent? Are they suitable for the new meetings, right? Are they suitable for the red carpet? Are they suitable for the new life? And do these men owe these women? Because let's be clear, these women put in work with these motherfuckers. Tory Hart even said, I wrote his fucking jokes. Do these men owe these women? If so, how much? How long? if at all. I will pass the mic. Who wants to go first? This one's gonna be Tristan.
Man. All right. I wait. Okay. Okay.
Sonia, she always
Uh,
wants to text you when you want.
It's all.
She said,
I'm behaving. I'm behaving.
okay.
Um. Um. Well, I say generally how life goes. Nobody owes you anything.
Ah,
That's how I was raised. I
okay.
said, but for the women, I believe at least give them 50. They've been you wouldn't have gotten there if it wasn't for them technically. So it should be 50-50. Also, they're doing it wrong because they go for the hottest new thing on the block instead of can this woman get me somewhere? Because a lot of these billionaires they always marry within like Bill Gates, right? His former wife was it Melinda Gates?
Yes.
Her father was well, I think a head engineer at NASA, which helped him push Microsoft.
Ah,
Jeff Bezos' ex-wife, I believe her father was some type of big dude at Princeton, or he owns some type of big business where his network has like expanded, or like that's how it's supposed to go. If you're gonna upgrade, you need to upgrade your network. They're marrying. Okay, she's attractive, so I'm gonna go with her. Like it's really a downgrade. You didn't do anything. That's
hmm.
how I look at it.
That's interesting. That's interesting because when they're in that position, the men, when they got the fame, the fortune, and what have you, and the success, do they need a woman that's going to do anything? Do they need her to do
Well,
anything?
well, they do because you need those connections. I said, look, as much as these guys have, outside of Dwayne Wade and maybe Steve Harvey,
Mm-hmm.
what can what connections do these women have? Gabrielle Union, as much as you want to say, she has connections in Hollywood. You- Let's be honest. If Dwayne Wade didn't have Gabrielle Union, would he be on Vogue magazine and stuff like this? No. Yes, he was a top basketball player, but it would be stuck on Sports Illustrated, not GQ.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Raging Bull says here, this is a great point. He says they both deserved each other earlier. Were they in their when were they at their dating pool? That's another thing. When Steve Harvey, Kevin Hart, all of them, were they in their dating pool? Kevin Hart is like 5'3", right? So did Tory Hart. Was that the woman that he could get at 5'3", struggling comedian? I'll pass the mic. Haran or Ish.
Ish can go ahead.
You know Ish be taking 10 minutes to get.
No, Ish is in there. All right.
I'm
Well,
here.
I think it's a
Anything
number of
I'm here, but go ahead, Haran.
I think it's a number of things. First of all, when you married the woman, what was her list of attributes? If you married her and the only thing that she supplied for you was, well, someone who was capable of accepting you at your worst, that's not something that you can actually really work with when you actually upgrade. Because when you become a better version of yourself, you literally just outpace and you just nullify her usefulness. Now, if this woman was a brilliant woman, if she was
Mhm,
resourceful,
mhm.
if she was a linchpin in your organization, in the building of your brand, if she said that, you know what, check this out. Now, here's the flip side of it. What if that woman said that, you know what, this is how we're going to work it? You're going to get in the gym, you're going to become that, and we're going to flip this whole situation, and we're going to work this, and I'm going to work this from the shadows with you. You're gonna get you a better looking girlfriend. You're gonna get you a better looking situation. We're gonna all take off and pop off. These things happen.
Mhm.
These things actually happen. You know what I mean? In Hollywood and so on and so forth. I mean, some of these females that you might see, they're happy with playing their position. You know what I mean? They're, just because, a particular woman might not be walking the red carpet with, what I mean, a guy when he glows up, doesn't mean that same woman isn't still a part of the situation,
Mm-hmm.
isn't still a part of the organization. Now, any woman who is resourceful, who is who did help me build a brand, and I can still make money and I can still make moves with this with the woman, we can sit down, we can have a conversation, a real conversation, and I can be like, hey man, you are great in these particular areas. I still want to make moves with you. I still want to make situations work with you, but I also want to move in this particular area, and you don't necessarily fit into that. Let's work it like this so both parties can be, what I mean, can eat continuously.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be like, hey, take your check and go. We could both continue to make moves, make money together.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's always a bigger picture to everything. Everything doesn't necessarily have to be, well, all right, well, I'm moving here, I'm doing this, you know what I mean? So it's time to get you up out of here, trade in this car, and I'm making moves. Like, nah, it doesn't necessarily have to be that. But all this is contingent on how useful the woman is. Like I said, if she just if you just got it just because, well, on some bargain basement shit and it was all you could afford, well, then of course she's gonna outpace her usefulness once you move forward. I'll pass the mic on that.
So if let's say this woman only has a certain resource, right? Because I told you
Hmm.
guys, or maybe I didn't tell you guys before, I have to put myself in there because I'm talking from my experience. I was with a narcissist for a long, long time. And the more I studied narcissism and saw his moves and started looking at him from the outside, looking in, like, let me see how, he became a little, put him on a petri dish. And I started like seeing how the fuck this cell functions. And I noticed that all the women he had all had a different resource, all of them, right? All very
Hmm.
resourceful women. This one was an expert in that, this one was an expert in it, this one had that, right? So back to your point, let's say that woman not necessarily taking a man at his worst, right? Because being at your worst is different from I just ain't got shit but I'm about to go get shit. There's a difference,
Right, right, right,
right?
right. Very, very
So
true.
what if it was a woman that was just like, look, I'm with you when you have nothing. I see your potential. I see where you headed. I'm going to help you in any way possible, even if it's small shit, even if it's me sewing your name on t-shirts, right? Because you can't afford to get them printed. So I'm fuck that. I'm going to sew your name on t-shirts. I'm going to fucking iron your logo on baseball caps. I'm going to stay up with you writing these jokes like Tory Hart and Kevin Hart. And I truly, really believe that she helped Kevin with those jokes. I really, truly believe that. So things like that. And now, right, that's her skill set. Let's say that's her skill set. She doesn't have much else. Now she helps him day and night, the crying, the damn, nobody's putting me on stage, blah, blah. And then she's going through all of that with him. Like, yo, babe, we got to eat top ramen this week because I'm still doing this comedy thing. I can't get a regular job. She's like, okay, fuck it. We're going to eat the top ramen together. We married. Fuck that. Now he blows up, right? Let's say her skill set doesn't fit for the blown up Kevin Hart. How do you repay that woman? Do you owe her? Because Tristan said nobody owes anybody anything. Do you owe her? Do you cut her a check? Do you say, look, I can't really pull you into this. Here's how I'm going to give back for the time and for the work you put in. What do you do in that situation?
I think
Like,
that's a fair. I think you do exactly what you just said. You sit down and have a conversation and be like, okay, because look, man, there comes a time when the end of the road is just the end of the road. Sometimes you just holding on to the whole fucking shirt. You know what I'm saying? And you just got to cut your losses, but you don't necessarily have to, what I mean, toss the shit in the garbage can. You can basically sit down and like, look, this is where we are right now. This is where I need to be, and unfortunately, we can't go there together. However, I recognize the work that you've put in. I recognize the things that you sacrifice, and I think you deserve this. And whatever number that is that you both agree upon, that's your business. But I do believe that that person deserves something. And I think that a lot of times, you know, what I mean, I'm called cap on a lot of dudes. You know, what I mean, a lot of men are very hypocritical,
Mm-hmm.
especially nowadays. A lot of dudes, you know, come to the table and want to talk about a woman. You know, what I mean, should be breathing life into them and all kinds of shit and
Talk like
whatever, what have you. You know, what I mean, breathe
What the
life
fuck
into
does
you
that
and
even
accept
mean?
you, you know what I mean, and love you when you're broke and you're fucked up and so on and so forth. And they want some degree of compassion. You don't necessarily always see that degree of compassion expressed by men when they on top, when they pop it. You know what I mean? Now, if you got to go your separate ways, it is what it is, homie, but you ain't got to throw away like that. You don't have to embarrass him, man. You know what I mean? And
hey,
what I think with the Derek Jackson situation, like I told you, I just thought that he came in the game immediately a fucking lame. He didn't look like that. You know what I mean? We were talking about that, and I was like, I think he was borderline on some incel shit. You know, when I saw it, and I calculated, I was like, okay, here was a guy who probably wasn't that great with women. He didn't know what the fuck was going on. He was pretty much a square, and he said, you know what, I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna do whatever. And when that happened, you know, what I mean, he came out busting through the door looking like Chocolate Thunder. Then it was a, you know, what I mean, it was a different situation. He started getting chicks. He probably started getting chicks. He who was turning him down previously. You know what I mean? And he didn't know how to manage that. He didn't know how to handle that. So he was behaving in a very sloppy manner. Just doing sloppy, just amateur hour shit. You know what I mean? The kind of moves that dudes who really been out there wouldn't be making. You know what I mean? So when that started happening, and when I saw that, I was like, yeah, this guy really he really didn't have any credentials. And when he experienced the new life, I mean, come on, man, two basically hood chicks took you down within 6 months. Like, come on, bro. You was never that guy, and it's okay. It's okay. You know what I mean? You were swinging for the fences, and you really didn't know what you were doing. You know what I mean? You had a new life, but now you got this woman who I do think that you do love her, but there's a part of you that says like, damn, I still feel obligated because she rode with me when when the stomach was protruding, when I had two necks, when I had two necks and shit like that. You know what I mean, and so on and so forth. What do I do now? You know what I mean, and yeah, I still this new life that I want to experience, but I got her with me. What do I do now? And
right.
I don't think he really figured that out, or I think he was at a crossroads where he was hoping the situation and the problem would work itself out.
Listen to Necessary Evil, y'all. Please hit that like for me. Also, Necessary Evil, this is a good point. They want to upgrade their woman once their self-esteem goes up. I can't imagine that this man's self-esteem on the left was high. Okay. But on the
You
right,
see it in his face.
I absolutely see it in his face. You absolutely see it in his face. So is that another point? Do these men feel like crap when they're down and don't have money and don't have the looks, but then they got money and it's like, oh, now I feel better. So I feel better than this situation. And I like
It's
what you said about Derek Jackson. And let's be clear, right? A lot of people, I've heard this a lot, right? Where people like, oh, that person changed when they got money. Oh, that person changed when they got fame. Oh, that person changed when they lost weight. Let's be clear. The person changed because they were supposed to. It is a new life. It is a rebirth. It is literally a rebirth. You without millions is a different person. You with millions of dollars is a different person. You're eating at different places, you're shopping at different places, you're thinking at different places, your network changes, you got different friends, right? You're traveling different. You are a different person. It is a rebirth. So I'm not one of those people that scoffs at people. It's like, oh, you changed because you got money. Oh, you changed because you lost weight. People are supposed to change when their life changes that drastically. However, I think it's cruel. I think it's evil. I think people have to be very careful at karma when someone has helped them so much when they didn't have all of that, right? And then they kind of forget. Or they're like, no, I'm over here now. People are looking at me now, so I don't have to deal with that anymore. I think that's fucked up.
I also want to say something, man. You know, a lot of times as men, and you know, man, I might be coming for the fellas a few times tonight because I was riding with y'all a couple other nights prior, so you know I like to do things balanced. Anyway, you know, what I mean, I want to come for a few fellas, and sometimes basically say that, and a lot of times when it comes, to especially superficial situations like this, men can be very selfish. Men can be very selfish. You know what I mean? As long as they eating, you know, they ready to just throw whomever to the side and
Mhm.
basically wallow around in the mud and the money on the bed and forget about who actually looked out for them. And
Mhm.
again, like I said before, things happen, things change, people come to a end of the road. However, don't forget about the people who took care of you prior. You know what I mean? Don't forget about the people who took care of you prior. It doesn't have to be a situation where you throw the baby out with the bathwater. And if that person says, you know what, fuck you, I don't want to down from you, I don't want shit from you, fuck you, you know what I mean, blah blah blah, good luck with your new life, then hey, you know, you at least gave that person an option to walk away from the situation with something. If they don't want it, that's on them.
Absolutely.
Also, like to state
And we're talking about a lot of money here. A lot of money. Where like
a lot of bread.
if you broke somebody off a couple million, you know what I'm saying? It's not gonna put a dent. And when you're talking about net worth of Dwayne Wade and Kevin Hart and Steve Harvey and not Derek Jackson so much, but you know, these other guys, a 50 Cent, like it's not gonna put a dent in your wallet to trick some $3 million off on some woman that helped you way back when and go on with your life, right?
Absolutely.
Like, you know, pocket money for them. Thank you for the super chat, Necessary Evil. Necessary Evil says a person is only as faithful as their options. When no one is checking for them, he's faithful. Now let's go a little deeper, right? I want to talk about, because of course all these men are different. They all had the starter wives, we know. Good evening, Angel Crispin. Hit that like and subscribe if you're peeking at me. Okay, so let's look at Steve Harvey here and his starter wife, right? Specifically, Steve Harvey's in a white suit with the sunglasses to the left, right? Let's look at his starter wife. Let's go a little deeper with this, right? Steve Harvey literally said, okay, and I'm going to paraphrase a little bit, but the gist of what he said was during an interview, and he caught a lot of heat. He caught a lot of heat for saying this, but he said that when he met Marjorie Harvey, his current wife, who is lighter and blonder with the lighter eyes, because I believe she's mixed or whatever. Either way, she's a lighter skinned Black woman. He said, I think that's you, Tristan, your mic. Steve Harvey said, you know, I finally found a woman who had the complexion I like, the hair I like, the eye color I like. And everybody was like, whoa, hey, wait a minute now. So your ex-wife didn't have the complexion or the hair or the eye color you like. Now, Marjorie Harvey is more what? White adjacent, right? She has the dirty blonde hair, the light eyes, the lighter skin. And he caught a lot of flack for that, caught a lot of heat for that. What do you think about Steve Harvey taking on this new wife? Not only that, but adopting her children and giving them his last name. Lori Harvey is only Harvey because Steve Harvey adopted her. That is not his daughter, okay, along with her brother. Steve Harvey adopted Marjorie Harvey's children and he parades them around. And he's always telling his daughter, don't take a man that's not worth X, Y, and Z. Don't take a man that's not blah, blah, blah. Although his ex-wife took him everything that he said not to take a man. Everything he said, don't take a man if he blah, blah, blah. Now he's telling his, you know, his favorite daughter, his golden child, because if you didn't know, Steve Harvey has two other daughters. with biological, with the ex-wife, which you probably don't know about and you don't hear about because all you hear is Lori Harvey, Lori Harvey, Lori Harvey, Lori, Harvey, Harvey, Harvey. Although the bitch has done squat. Although she's done squat. She's not an actress. She's not a model. She doesn't have a business. She's not an entrepreneur. She's done squat. But you constantly hear about her because he adopted her. You don't hear about his other two daughters, do you? Most people don't even know Steve Harvey has two other daughters with the first wife, right? So what do you think about that? So it's like now he can afford a Marjorie Harvey. Would a Marjorie Harvey have gotten with a Steve Harvey that didn't have no money? And is that a bad thing? Is that a bad thing? Ish, you back? Ish ain't back. So what do you think, Tristan and Haran?
It's not a bad thing because you like what you like, but but also it's a bad thing because this religious holy man basically stabbed every partner in the back, basically saying you are not this, you are not enough. Essentially, that's what he's saying. And I found something better. Mind you, he didn't find anything better. Like she didn't improve his network. Like wasn't like her ex husband like some type of drug kingpin or some shit, some nonsense like that.
Actually,
So
cousins. It's been said that she dated two cousins. After one of them went to prison, she had dated the other one, and then he went to prison.
yeah, so it's he's another idiot, and it gets to the point of you're stabbing people in the back and you're forgetting who got you there. But this man will sit there and tell you, say, "Hey, don't forget the people that got you there," but he does it. It's contradictory, and I can't respect it, and I don't understand why is it so many black rich people that do it. It's an issue for me. It's like I don't see that in other communities. Maybe because I'm not in them, but for us, I see it's like, hey nigga, listen, I ain't see like listen, you gotta get through the gate first to talk to me. Like, excuse me? Like I remember I held that little duffel bag for you.
Right.
It's disrespectful.
Necessary evil. They are not light skinned. They're actually very dark skinned. His two daughters. So you are correct. They are not light skinned. They are not caramello like Lori. Haran, what do you think? Because Ish is, I don't know where he's at. He's under the bed right now.
um, I didn't even know that he had other daughters.
He
I wasn't
does.
even aware of that, and he didn't. He obviously isn't as brazen with those young ladies as he is with Lori Harvey. Uh, that's fucked up. However, when he Steve Harvey is, I think, I guess, a different situation. Maybe with Laura, with his new wife. I guess you can contend that maybe there was an aura around him that changed that allowed him to close a number of deals and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Because for all it's worth, you know, his new wife is a nice looking woman.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So to take it to certain galas or to take it to certain business meetings or to, you know what I mean, or business functions and so on and so forth. Yeah, it's a good look for him. It's definitely a
Mm-hmm.
good look for him. I mean, the motherfucker look like a fried country Bama. I mean, he just has that corny Bama look without, you know what I mean, a certain class of woman around him. So she does upgrade his appearance. She does upgrade his aura. You know, I will contend that, especially, you know what I mean, he, you know, since he got what he climbed out of the loud ass suits,
Right.
you know, and he started dressing like a man who has a degree of self respect.
Oh, Marjorie
You
knows her
know what I mean?
clothes now, honey. Marjorie knows
You know
her.
what I mean? She took care of him, man, and that helped him. That really did help his brand. That helped. Now that's an example. That's an example of someone who's very beneficial to the brand. You know what I mean? You know, by her making those little tweaks and so on and so forth, it was able to take his situation. He added 50 or maybe $100 million to his situation.
Mm-hmm.
His previous wife didn't have that kind of vision, you know, and whether or not that was important to him, that's entirely dependent on his, situation entirely. Now in terms of Derek Jackson, I will say one thing, and I've said it 100 times: the gym remains undefeated. Okay, the gym and the haircut remains undefeated, man. A lot of these dudes, a lot of these incels, if they would just drop 50 pounds and get a haircut, they could pretty much probably be Derek Jackson too. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But that's on that particular individual. But I will also say and also contend that there's something, I believe it's called a bariatric divorce,
Mm-hmm.
where it means that after particular weight loss surgery, that a lot of women, perform, a lot of them get divorced
Mm-hmm.
after they lose that particular weight. And I think it boils down to this, that we don't really want to talk about
Mm-hmm.
for both parties. I think after a while, especially when you're with somebody, for a long time, when your look changes, or whether it's your bread, whether it's your look, or your mindset,
Mm-hmm.
new options show up. And once those new options show up, they that person never experienced before in their life, and they want to experience these options, but they got you tugged at the foot.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I see a lot of hypocrisy again on the side of the men, because when it's the men who got a chance to win, everybody's cool with it. When it's the women who got a chance to win, they want to guilt them and stand, and what I mean, blah blah blah, and so on and so forth. And she should be this and so on or whatever. But it's like, look, yo, dog, you aren't the option anymore. You aren't the best option in the room anymore. And whether or not that's on you is another discussion entirely.
So
But
these
she
are
wants to move on.
Steve Harvey's daughters.
Okay.
All right. The ones before Lori was adopted. I find it interesting how it almost looks like, and this is just from the outside looking in, right? Even Necessary Evil said when you Google Steve Harvey's daughters, Lori Harvey comes up. All right. These women don't even come up. It seems to me like Steve Harvey wanted to completely detach himself, right?
Hmm.
Other life. So he adopted the new, cuter, lighter skinned kids. He has the new, cute, lighter skinned woman, which he, according to him, has the hair he liked, has the eye color he liked, has the complexion he liked. Those were his words. But the funny thing is that these women that I just showed you look like him. So, like, how is it that you can want a life with lighter women and cuter women when your seed can't produce that? So you have the fucking nerve. You have the nerve. You can't
You know
even
what though?
what you covet.
You know what though? And I'll keep it very real with you. And I've seen this sometimes and I've seen this with men. Sometimes when they reach a certain area in their life, they want to detach themselves from anything that reminds them of who they were. They want to completely forget about it. You know what I mean? Sometimes those are friends. You know what I mean? Sometimes those are a lot of things, and they step into this version of themselves, and they completely just disregard the past entirely. And again, that's kind of a throw the baby out with the bathwater kind of situation, and that's dependent on each individual. But you don't have, I mean, I just think sometimes certain things should be handled a certain way.
I love this. Oh my God. I love this comment so much. This just got me in the feels. Don Levon
Yeah.
said, what I've learned is if you ever ask a woman to help you build, you got to have a plan for not only you got to have a building plan for her too, and do them both at the same time. That is fucking beautiful. Because let me tell you what women do when they are helping a man. Women get lost in helping a man, right? They're all in voices that are in their head from their mamas and their grandmamas and their aunties and their sisters. Talk life into this man. Help this man. Be his peace. Leave him alone when he's watching sports, right? So women are conditioned to just help this man, and they lose themselves in helping that man. Then he blows up like all the men that I posted here. And then the women are left behind, angry, bitter, wanting money. Everybody's yelling at her, get a fucking job. Although she's trying to get money from the motherfucker she helped for many years. Okay. And that motherfucker's a millionaire, got money on money on money on money. All right. She gets the short end of the stick. Get a job. Why you want child support? Why you want alimony? It's like she becomes public enemy number one, though she wiped this broke asshole's ass for all them years. And I think that's fucked up. And that's why I am anti, and people hate when I say this, but I am anti building with a man. Anti. I don't give a fuck if he's not built and ready when you meet him. Get the fuck away from him, because it's not worth it, in my opinion. It's not worth it. It's a crapshoot. It's putting up something on the table, and the stakes are not in your fucking favor. Don't do it, ladies, young ladies, older ladies, mid ladies, hit the wall, whatever you want to consider yourself in life. Do not fucking build with a man. It is never worth it. Rarely. Very, very rarely are you going to build with a man and now he got new muscles and new money and bitches in his DMs, and he's going to be like, hey, starter wife or starter girlfriend, let me help you out. Let me bring you. Very, very rarely. Motherfuckers forget. They have a very selective memory. Do not do it. Don't do that love shit. Don't do the ride or die. Don't do that. I'll help you build. That's what I'm supposed to do. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Don't do it, because I believe, and then I'll pass the mic. I believe when a man is really about his business, he's not going to look for a construction fucking partner. He's not going to look for a construction worker. He knows he has to come in at 100, then take a woman on. That's how I feel that a man should be, and that's how men should be raising their sons. Make sure you're at 100. Stop looking for a struggle buddy. Do not do it. Do not do it, because you're signing up for fucking problems. Do not do it. Make sure your shit is intact. Then go get you a woman. But how dare you look for a struggle buddy, a ride or die? Who do you think you are? Your mother's back home. I'll pass the mic.
I have to agree, because this is one thing I hate to say he's right, and which was Haran. Oh my God, right? He slapped me with something I forgot myself a few months back, and it changed my life for the second time. So this man told me, he says, if you don't have a plan, you're going to fail. And I got annoyed, like, who the fuck are you? I said, but it was ego. It was like, my brain is not gonna get me everywhere, and I'll forget things. And I need to stick with something, even if I don't want to do it. I have a plan, so I still have to show up. So, you know, around, and I think if you dealing with a man that doesn't have a plan, then he needs to be by himself. He needs to be that incel. It's because at the end of the day, you I can't help you if I can't help myself,
Hello.
and that's how it should be.
Hello. Glenn Lawrence, what say you?
What's going on, everybody? How you guys doing tonight?
Hey, out late.
What's going on, brother?
Not much. So, man, this Jackson guy, right? Like, Mr. Relationship, Mr. Man, this them tell you how to treat a woman. Oh, all you guys are assholes because you don't treat a woman like this. Dude. Wow.
That's his
Wow.
before and after. He's a new man
Hey,
now.
but you know what? I can't even hate on him. I can't hate on him for his
Can't.
before and after, because shit. I have a similar journey. I've been there too. It's funny though. It's like, because I saw your posting of this, and I never looked at starter wives. It never was something that would hit me. Like, because normally you see the girl going after the guy that's famous and everything, because she's the gold digger. She wants to cash in. Never thought it just never really resonated with me that, like, yeah, guys are picking up these girls. They come with girls into the industry or whatever. They get fame, and then they're like, damn, I upgraded my car, I upgraded my house, I upgraded my shoes. I gotta upgrade my bitch. I never, it just never really dawned on me like that. That's something that's so prevalent. And I guess that's because it's such a small group of people that are in the position that are able to do so. Like the majority of the population are not really in a position to move like that. So I think that's why it just never hit my radar. What I find interesting about this whole scenario is that it's like, I was listening to what you were saying about like build with you. I'm just like wondering like, why the fuck? What this is now you're asking for in the galaxies. It's like weird. Like, oh, I want a girl that will build with me, build my empire with me. But then, when you are 50-50, that means somebody has equal authority. That means you guys end up, canceling each other out. So when she's moving a certain way, because she's putting in the same amount of work building with you, and then you mad at her for her moving a certain way that you don't like, well, you really don't have the leverage to say anything because she's a partner in this shit. It's 50-50. She can move how she wants. And it's like, well, you want women to be submissive and feminine, but build with you and invest equally into what you're doing to your empire. Well, then you have to give them some leverage. You have to give them something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so it doesn't make sense for these guys to like build with me. No, come already built. You're supposed to be built. That's what makes you a success object. Women want success objects. So if you're like, hey, girl, look, I'm gonna be something, but I need your help. Like, hey, I know I'm homeless and everything. I live in the beach, but look, you remember me? I used to be a somebody, and I could be a somebody again. It's like, really? Why don't you just be somebody? Just get there.
That's one thing I can say about Glenn.
Women fall for it all the time. Women fall for it all the time.
That's one thing I can say about Glenn. He's annoying as fuck in other areas, but when it comes to actually, he's not like a lot of these talking heads in the manosphere. Glenn is very much about, self-reliance. He's about coming to the table, built, not depending on outside forces to define you. So many people in the manosphere about that, man. So many men, and that's why a lot of these guys, they remain so lost, and their issues go unresolved because they don't do the internal work first and create the attraction object. They don't know how to attract anyone because they're not working on being attractive. They're thinking that they can just throw some band-aids on some shit, throw on some cologne on a fucking stink, and think that everything's gonna be fine from here out. No, now your situation sounds even worse, bro. Now you smell like sewer sauce, and we can still see that you're still fucked up. Now I will also go on to this, man, that we're sitting here and we're saying like, okay, Derek Jackson, after the glow up, the chicks changed, the money's different, blah, blah, blah. But we're not really talking about the bigger scope of it all. Let's just keep it a buck. Look, image is everything. Okay? Image is everything in life, man. I guarantee you, anyone in the panel or in the chat, there was a time in your life where when you change a piece of yourself visually, when you corrected a certain thing visually, or you corrected something internally that they could see, improved you visually, everything changed. People treated you different. You didn't have to go through so many hoops for the raise. You wanted to, new friends wanted to be around you, so on and so forth. Because again, you become an attractive object. You become attractive. When you give off this energy of repellent, whether you look visually sickening or you just come across with just negative energy, you're repelling people. People don't want to be around you. So it gets a little tougher to get to the yes than it is to get to the no. Because like I said, at the end of the day, people are gonna move subconsciously, man. We're all human beings at the end of the day. I don't give a fuck what anyone tells you.
So let me ask Glenn, since you're here and you went through a similar glow up like Derek Jackson, when you were fat, because you were fat.
I was fat as fuck.
Yes, when you were fat, were you married?
Yeah.
And your wife was with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you do the glow up during your marriage or after the divorce? During. Okay, great. So now we got Glenn cut like a diamond. Did you feel like, because now you're in the gym and all these women who work out are in the gym and now Glenn is being looked at. Did you at any time feel like this wife of mine doesn't really fit with this new life and this new feeling I have and the way I look at myself and feel about myself?
So like, okay. All right, let me be a little transparent here. So for me, like I struggled with like my image for a really long time. So like I had the hardest time accepting what I saw in the mirror.
Mhm.
You know, so even to this day, I still struggle with it at times. You know, I'm better at it now, but you know, when you go from being really overweight and you know you're very self-conscious, you're very aware of every little thing on your body. You're like, oh, is that a new mole? You know, like you're just aware of everything because you get judged by it. So for me, I really never noticed the attention, honestly.
Mhm.
I never assumed that like people were talking to me or girls were talking to me because they found me attractive, because these are the same girls that talked to me before. You know, there was still small talk. You know, like I really wasn't engaged in like the sub communications of their body language. You know, so to be honest, I didn't really pick up on it until right before my divorce. You know, it was about like 3-4 years later I kind of noticed like, oh, she hugged me a little longer than normal. and she didn't
Yes,
do it with the
sir.
back out, she did it the chest
Yes,
in.
sir.
So like she wanted me to feel
Yes,
something.
sir.
It
Like
wasn't the touchy hug, it wasn't the
yeah,
touchy.
Yes, sir.
it's like I wasn't getting no more side hugs. I was getting like full frontal. Like
Mhm.
like that's a
Uh-huh.
whole different type of hug. That's a
All
real hug,
different.
you know.
Yeah.
So like, but like for me, like
The hug where they rub that chest when they walking
yeah.
away. Like, why do you do this?
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're like, whoa, are you even wearing a bra? You know, you just noticing things. But here's the weird thing. Like for me, I was so into my wife at the time,
Mhm.
like value wise, like just like we've already at this point we've been together for 10 years. So I was like, I'm good. You know, like I have a good life going for me, or I thought I did. Okay, I thought I did. I didn't know about all the secrets and shit, but it was like I wasn't trying to go nowhere else. I didn't want to even stray off because one, I knew people that had caught cases, false cases. It was like, no, I'm not trying to fuck with no females right now. Like I found one that's good. I'm gonna stick right here. Why venture off? Because you get no, not working for me. But that's just me. That's just me.
Now, did you feel that when you changed? Oh, Glenn left. Damn, I had a question for him. Ish, are you back? 3, 2, 1. Ish is not back.
Well, I would say one thing.
Here's Glenn. I
I'm gonna
wanted to
put.
ask
What
something.
would you say? If I failed what?
Yeah, did your wife change her attention towards you when you dropped the weight and now you're this fit Glenn? Did she change towards you? Was she like, ooh, I want you Glenn even more?
You know what? Not really. Not until like I got my pro card and I was like competing on the pro circuit.
Mm-hmm.
Once I got to that platform, like the amateur market was cool, but like it really didn't get a whole lot of publication, not a whole lot of recognition. But when I, got to the pro circuit, it was like all of a sudden, like she want to make sure she sucked my dick before I left the house. Like, hey, you want some head before you leave? You going to the gym? You might want to get some head before you leave, just in case. It was like just in case you may feel a hankering, and I'm not there, so I just want to take care of you now.
Oh, shit.
I mean,
To make
before
sure
it
them
was
eggs
like
is done the way you love them.
I was like, this is all new. I was like, oh.
Let that be a lesson to whoever's lurking. Work out. You may get head on tap.
Hey, you get head on the most randomest occasions. You're like, I'm gonna go to the store, get some socks. Okay, here, let me give you a blowjob before you go, just in case.
Now, was she when you were fat, when it was the fat Glenn, did she like cheat or not give you the same type of attention? Was she like, oh, whatever, I'm putting up with
So she was very prude,
okay.
right? She was very much a church girl, right?
Oh.
Actually, I here's funny stories. Like I was, for some reason, I went to that church because my mom was going there, and the night before I was just at a bender. We had like 4 strippers and like this wild party for my buddy's bachelor party, and then my mom's like, "Will you go to church with me in the morning?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, whatever." And so I go, and then I'm like faded in the back with a beanie on and a hoodie and my glasses on, and then like, and I see this big old booty walk in the house. I'm like, okay, I'll come to church. But she was like really prudish. So when I found out the things that I found out about her and what she did, I was just like, that doesn't even sound like the person that I know. You know? So she was living like a double life, and
like most church folk.
Oh man, like yeah, no idea. I was like, good Lord. Like everything that you seen on Pornhub, she did.
So let's go back to the question.
But like, I don't think my weight had anything to do with it, though. That's the thing. Really? Like, yeah, because like when I was big because I had injuries. So I was in the military. I got injured. I fractured my discs in my back. So Fat Glenn was never like a regular thing. It was never like that's how I was growing up.
Okay, all right.
It was like Fat Glenn because of injuries, and it took several years to recover to be able to get back at it.
Okay, so that's different. I thought you were always fat. I do want to go back to the question.
Nah, COVID killed my body.
COVID is like 2 years old, bro. Like your body.
Listen.
Last 2 years, Tristan.
Back to the question. Are starter wives not fit for fame? When we look at these women on the thumbnail, do you think that they fit in a life of fame and fortune and wealth and riches? Do those women fit? And let me take out the banner so you can see. You got Kevin Hart's ex-wife. You got one of Steve Harvey's ex-wives. I know he had 3. You got Dwayne Wade's ex-wife. You got Derek Jackson's ex-wife. You got 50 Cent's baby mama, the one that was with him. He got shot, needed money, jaw wired shut. She was there, had his first child. Who he doesn't even talk to. Are these women, you think, are they suitable? Are they fit for the fame and the red carpet? Or is it just, listen, it's a new life. You guys don't really match what I'm doing now.
So the question is like, what is the criteria of that? Really? Like, like, do we have a criteria? Have we a society have come to the point where it's like, if you make it to fame or fortune or whatever, that you now have to change who you are and who you have around you to please people? Because why the fuck would that matter? Because that never was a situation before.
Yes, it matters.
But I'm saying, I'm asking rhetorically, like, why does that have to matter? Like, why do we care enough about it? Like, if this person was with you before, when you were a nobody, right? And like, I just don't see why you would need to, unless they were misbehaving, unless they were coming out of pocket, all of a sudden they like going on some crazy shopping sprees or doing some stupid, some still dumb shit. But other than that, like, why trade them out? Like, trade them out. I don't understand it. Like, you loved her when you were broke, right? So your love all of a sudden changed when you got more zeros in your bank?
Yes.
See, like, and I just don't understand the mindset of that. I just don't understand the mindset. Now I could see why they want to be with attractive people, but not all celebrities are attractive.
True.
I mean, there's a lot of ugly celebrities. Okay, there's a lot of them.
I mean, none of the guys in the thumbnail, in my opinion. I mean,
Steve Harvey is ugly as hell with them big old teeth and that bald head.
Like, none of these men are drop dead gorgeous. None of them.
And none of the girls. I mean, like, it's just people, Like, I mean, only reason why I see like them leaving somebody is unless they came out of pocket really bad. I just can't justify it or even say like it's acceptable. any other reason, you know. I don't think they should. If you know they came up with you and that's who you love, you've been with them for whatever many years, and you hit the lotto, they winning too, right? They win too.
And that's a beautiful sentiment. But that's why I said before, a lot of people don't marry for love. They marry for partnership. And at that point in time in their life, they're like, hey, you'd make a great partner for where I am right now, right?
Well, that means that it's because it's a contract. They have made it into a contractual agreement. You know, it's like, look, for women, it's like, look, if I make it for 10 years, guess what? I get to cash out and get money for the rest of my life. And I don't even got to marry nobody again. You know, and the guy's like, you know what? And guess what? If you even make it that far, if you don't make it that far, I'm going to cash you out and get an upgrade. It's like, we have ruined the institution of marriage to the point where it's just like, you have to question whether is it even, you know, what would he have to do to fix it? Is there any reformations that can be made to you know, restore marriage? Yeah.
Is you back?
I'm back. I've been kind of dipping in and out. I had some. I'm trying to glow up over here. I had some chips come in, so I had to address that.
So what say you? I don't know how much you heard, but you know the topic.
So I'm gonna blow up, and then I'm gonna leave here. I'm gonna leave Jen on the block, and I'll be on The View next week.
On The View?
Yeah.
I'll pull up over there. You know, damn.
Yeah, I know. I unfortunately I do know.
He knows.
I would say that. Right. So you stand out front. I think that it's unfortunate, and he's right when it comes to, you know, the devaluation of marriage, and it's like, you know, you're swapping out, you know, a wife like you're swapping out a leased vehicle, and I don't think that that's
back. I know you just got back, and you know I love you, but I gotta pause you right there, because atheists, I agree with them or her. Marriage is not about love. It never was. When we look at other cultures, they are literally doing arranged marriages. When we look at films that are period pieces, when we look at Game of Thrones, this house needs to marry someone from that house to keep the wealth and the legacy going. There were no Hallmark cars. There were no diamonds forever. There was no bouquet. There was no, this house needs to marry this house. I think when you start creating love into that shit, okay, that is what fucked people up. That is what fucked people up. So to go back to what Ish said, trading people in and out, it was never supposed to be like, I love you, that's why I'm here.
Yeah, marrying for love is a new thing. That's a new thing. Everything was about acquiring assets and securing.
It's called romanticism.
Let me say this.
Before it was about acquiring assets and wealth.
Well, let me say this. There are different periods of time that we all have to look at, and saying that the past period of times were all absolute, and that's not necessarily true, because, you know, even some marriages were based upon survival. I'm gonna get with the Hulk guy, because he's gonna help me survive in this environment here. So I mean, there's been different variables throughout time.
Isn't love. It's still not love.
Yeah, but again, societally wise, there's been many different historical variables. Was my point. So I'm saying now that we're in this dispensation of time.
But the majority of marriage wasn't love, though. Like throughout our time.
Marriage was never founded in love before.
I don't 100%
like they end up loving down the road.
Huh?
Say it again.
I said I don't think it ever started off in love. It was like, okay, you have this, your family has these assets, our family needs some assets, and we got these other assets, so we could barter. But I don't think it was ever the foundation of love. It was never founded in love, but you end up loving them down the road. You know, you grow to love them. You were a bargaining chip. Like, ladies, I'm sorry, but you were a bargaining piece. Like, your family needs some hay, and my family has hay. Guess what? I'm going to get you and give your family some hay. And then, you know, hey, it's a good transaction. Like, and then guess what? You're going to learn to love me. Okay. You're going to learn to love me. You ain't going nowhere else.
You'll get used to it.
But that's how it was before. Right. So it was never, you never had.
But I don't think it worked. And that's why I don't think it worked. And that's why you have this variable where love became into play, because there's resentment that builds up. There's people who may have
you want to fight on a late night. Really quickly, thank you for the super chat, Don Levon. Don Levon says, it's just that Halle Berry wasn't checking for me when I was broke and unfamous. Time for an upgrade. Ish, I'm gonna hurt you. You're like, that wasn't working? Are you kidding me? Empires were built by arranged marriages in Pakistan.
Even though empires are built, that practice is not always still continuing.
I know, but you said,
you know that.
But wait a minute. I just want to throw this in there, and then you could continue. I'm sorry. You said resentment builds, bruh. There is no bigger and deadlier resentment than I've seen than two motherfuckers who started loving each other. There is no bigger fucking resentment. I'm talking about to the point I'm a murder this bitch, and they do. I'm a murder this man, and they do. Do you watch Snapped? Do you watch ID? That shit started in love. Lots of love. So to say that, well, arranged marriages changed and they started doing it for love because arranged marriages caused resentment. I've never seen more thicker, more evil resentment than two people that started in love. And we can all speak to that on this panel. All of us. Oh,
absolutely, but I don't think that I don't believe that that's the absolute only type of scenario. And I believe that with relationships. Now, I mean, we don't. I got you on that. But when it comes to relationships, they're obviously highly complex. You've had, like you said, empires have been built, wars have been stopped based upon the trading of, you know, human beings to what, you know, say, here, you can have my daughter. We're going to marry into a family. Now these two tribes are no longer going to be at war. I totally understand and know that history. What I'm saying is, even in those situations, you still have aspects. And I know, you know, why I take the position, because I fall into that hopeless romantic type of individual.
And how has that worked?
You have those individuals where attraction kicks in beyond the arranged marriage, and circumstances are created behind that. So you can't stop what is naturally induced based upon, you know, nature. You know, if you marry this person based upon.
Are you insinuating that love is naturally induced? Love, the same feeling you get when you eat a fucking chocolate bar?
Absolutely.
I mean, you know, if she tastes good, like that might be, you know, something to consider.
Stand by for 1 second. I got one more interruption. I'm sorry, guys. Give me a second.
Come back.
But I want to make a point real quick. You know, historically, arranged marriages last longer. Even now, arranged marriages last way longer than marriages for love. You know, as soon as they put the love factor in marriage, like you're not going to marry somebody until you love them. It's like, well, you know, your feelings change. Love is a feeling. Look, you may love them this morning and you may hate them the next. I mean, trust me, ladies, we know how you are with your feelings.
It's a feeling.
They're not consistent. Feelings are not consistent. So, you know, don't be facing. Why put something so serious as a contract or a commitment like that on feelings? That's something that's so fleeting.
Correct.
Look, man, I think that a lot of times we don't take into consideration that all relationships, if they last for a particularly long period of time, all relationships go through phases. Yeah, in the beginning, you're lustful, you're two horny fucking teenagers. You know, if you get involved for a longer period of time, you know, i.e. marriage, then, you know, it can shift into going from these horny teenagers to two people who have equity in a situation, business partners. Then one day you might wake up in the morning and you look at the side of your eye and you see a roommate. Then that person might literally turn into your brother and your sister. Then they might turn right back into you know what I mean, somebody that you lust over. All relationships in these situations, they go through phases. But I will agree that I think the worst thing to ever happen to marriage was love.
Ooh.
I think the moment love was introduced into marriage, the kingdom began to fall.
Donovan says using love and good sex as reasons for marrying someone is crazy, and that's usually what's used when people say I do that, and the craving a woman has for that big wedding and the white dress and the flowers and the friends and the bridesmaids and the pictures and the Instagram, right? That also is a factor, and none of it has the ingredients for longevity, right? So I wanted to ask Ish, what's the reason for marriage? Because that in the answer, we find the answer. What does he think the reason for marriage is? For two people to love each other and be together for the rest of their lives until they die. If
procreate.
Procreate or whatever. If he thinks that's the reason for marriage, then that is doomed to fail.
No, I mean, honestly, the reason for marriage is to procreate. That's it.
Well,
I mean,
that can happen without marriage.
Yeah, but the statistically it's proven that kids are better off when the biological parents are living together and within the home. So that's the only reason why. I mean, it's like a prison sentence. You get her knocked up, now you get stuck for 18 years. Okay, get it, serve your time, and then when 18 years later you're free.
Mm-hmm. Well, Ish is he's tied up, but
I'm back.
Yeah, but
so talk to me.
I think. Wait, so what are we on? Are we on romanticism still or no?
Yes, we are.
Well, like before, romanticism is a new thing because everything is about instinct, and a lot of people get their instincts wrong. So that's why you have like declines in marriage because this person doesn't feel right. You're like, what the fuck you mean you don't feel right? He's a millionaire. Go get the money. And that's how it is nowadays. As much as people want to say it's about love, what is love really? It's an instinct. You feel that this person is the one. Later on, that person is beating your ass. So what are your instincts right or wrong? You have to go with the reality. The reality is, hey, this fat slob is kind of not doing his thing, so you have to move on. It's about being realistic at the end of the day, because marriages used to be dynastic, and which they're not anymore.
So I wanted to ask Ish, right? Your reason, you would say, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but your reason for marriage, you think, is two people who love each other, right? That's why they would get married, because they
absolutely. Well, no, I understand that it's a contract. I'm very clear on that dynamic.
Okay, so
very clear that, but go ahead.
So which marriage do you think has a better chance of succeeding? A man who prioritizes finances and money, or a man that wants to marry for love? Which marriage do you think has a better chance at succeeding?
The man that prioritizes finances.
Okay. Why is that? Why does that one have a better chance than the guy looking for love, looking for somebody to love him?
Because the dynamic of him as a provider communicates to her nature, and her nature of feeling secure is why she looks towards the opposite sex as a partner. Is stimulated by the fact that he can provide and he can create a stable environment. So, if that being the one of the initial aspects to attraction, what I'm saying is that within that process, if it's just strictly a financial arrangement, somewhere I personally believe the pool boy becomes more handsome. The young friend of your child becomes more handsome, ergo Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, and you're constantly in a battle where you're not happy because you're not happy with this individual. You're happy with the lifestyle that you're living, but the lifestyle that you're living is with an individual that you literally detest or you're annoyed by on a regular basis. And what happens, what can happen, some not all, can happen is then you start looking for something to fill that void, because you feel like there's something missing and there's got to be more than just this life with this dude that I cannot detest, or that I detest.
But broke couples cheat all the time. Like broke couples cheat all the time. Broke couples who married for love,
I think people
cheat all the time.
I don't think that I think cheating is a byproduct, I believe, out of just not being able to choose partnership properly. So I don't think that whether you're broke, you're rich, whether you're homeless, whether if you're not satisfied in a relationship, you're going to look for an option, and that's just the bottom line reality.
I was just responding to what you said about Will Smith and Jada Smith. I was just responding to that.
Okay, yeah, no, I just utilize them as an example because he supposedly meets all the boxes are supposed to be checked when it comes to Will and Jada. Handsome, talented, driven, and successful, but she was constantly unhappy with him, or unhappy to where, for years you heard about all kind of, alternative relationship scenarios that were going on in that household. So if it was just finances, that answer was already checked off. If it was kept himself together, that box was already checked off. So why is she cheating with her son's friend or her daughter's friend?
I'll say this to any women listening, again, young or old. Any man you meet tells you he's looking to marry for love, run. Like run. Okay? Because a man should approach, in my opinion, my humble opinion, a man should approach a woman to marry with the priority of I can provide for a family. We will not be out on the street. I want to be the man in your life that could provide X, Y, and Z. Now I'm ready to look for a woman. But any man that leads with love, to me, that's a feminine trait. Just my opinion. Any man out there looking, love me. I want to get married so I can get. That's not how it's done. That's not how it should be done. I worked at Expo recently. I spoke to a family from Pakistan. It was 3 brothers and the father that owned the clothes company. From the youngest to the oldest, the way they broke down how they get married in Pakistan blew my mind. I looked at America and it turned my stomach. The shit we do here as tradition. It turned my fucking stomach when I heard those men talk about how they marry, who they marry, why it works generationally, and why it keeps wealth in their family. Okay? The man said the parents picked 5 women. The son decides what woman he wants, but the woman has to agree. So ultimately, the responsibility is on the woman, whether or not, even though she was one of the 5, the woman still has to okay it. And then after she okays it, she has to demand either money or gold from that man before they marry. And the man has to give it to her before they marry. And the woman gets to decide whether she gets it in a lump sum, whether she gets it every 3 years, 5 years, or whatever. That is how they do it in Pakistan. And I'm sitting there at that expo with fucking generational wealth of men from Pakistan. So their system has to work. They looked happy. They said the women have to choose at the end, so the women aren't oppressed in that family. They take care of their elders. But here, there's men running around looking for love and women to build with them. It's fucking disgusting. It's disgusting.
You know what's the irony?
But let me say this. I agree with you, Jen, when it comes to that point. I agree. Even historically, there were dowries provided. And even in current, indigenous cultures, in different tribes, if cows are the commodity, you have to bring a cow to the family and say, I want to marry your daughter, and here's 10 cows, of what we can provide as far as that's the form of exchange, financial exchange. So there's nothing wrong with what you're saying. I absolutely agree. I think the American sociological construct is totally ass backwards. I still believe that there has to be a love component somewhere in the equation. It cannot just be a commodified relationship. That's my only point.
And that's a fail. But that's a fail. That's a fail because that's a fail because when I spoke to those men from Pakistan, they're not thinking about love. They're thinking about generational wealth and family. That is what they're thinking. They're thinking of providing. They have to give that woman the money or the gold before they get married. That means there is no love there. There's an arrangement. There's an arrangement. Why are we so love me? What is that about?
Well, I'm not talking from a needy space. What I'm saying is you still have to in a family environment, you still have to raise children in a loving environment. Let's just really address the truth. When it's just a economic scenario, then you have an atmosphere that does not provide a loving environment for rearing a child.
But that's after. And what we have to teach our children more than anything else is how to fucking survive on their own without us. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. Like, what are we doing? I swear this country sickens me. It's not even you. It's this country, the way the men are raised here fucking sickens me. It fucking makes me nauseous. And then you fucking hear how other cultures do it. And you're like, that's why you're at a fucking expo and you own half this bitch here that I'm working at. This is why, because of the way y'all do things. This is why I'm at an expo and there's a Pakistan family of 3 generations, even the youngest one, and they own half the fucking expo because that is how they do things. Meanwhile, in this country, it's love. I need a woman to help me build. Struggle with me, mama. In this country, it is fucking gross. Let me pull it back and read this super chat from Joanna. Thank you for the super chat, Joanna. Joanna says, how apropos, what's love got to do with it? What's love but a secondhand emotion? Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken? Yes, Tina Turner. I'm very, very well aware of those lyrics. Thank you for the super chat, Joanna. It's just the mentality that it fucking makes me cringe, but I'm not picking on you, Ish. I'm just saying when I spoke to those men, I'm sorry, I was fascinated. I was like, hold up. You do what for the wife before you even meet her? And in this country, motherfuckers want to argue with me for 3 hours and do 5-hour fucking streams about I said I'm not going on a fucking coffee date with a motherfucker. That's America. Motherfuckers do 5-hour streams on YouTube about a woman will not accept a fucking coffee date. I can't with this country. It is it's disgusting. But Haran, you were saying something.
This is a huge hypocrisy that we just don't really acknowledge.
What's that?
Like a lot of these people who claim to be, to love their spouses or in love, yada yada, so on and so forth. A lot of motherfuckers are lying. A lot of motherfuckers are just basically either they're convincing themselves that they're happy with what they got, what they left the casino with, or they're forcing themselves to, settle with what they have when they left the casino. Because a lot of people have settled. A lot of people, I believe, they don't want to discuss it. But I think a lot of people are in love with their exes. They're in love with maybe their best friends. They could be in love with one of their coworkers. They could be in love with someone else completely. Entirely. Might be a whole nother gender. I have no clue. But I think that when it comes to the love component, we don't really sit down and really question. Well, how in love are you really with this motherfucker? Do you really love this person that you're actually with? How well do you know this person? Like, seriously, You know, I just think that a lot of people they try to use love as a manner of covering up the fact that they settled. Not all people, but I think that that's used under the guise of the fact that they settled
You're
and they
right.
said, hey, you know what I mean? I this is what I left the fucking amusement park with. Fuck it. You know what I mean? I either got to force myself with this pink monkey, or because I ain't giving it back, I ain't gonna leave. I'm not gonna leave empty handed. So fuck it. Me and this pink monkey, we're gonna make this work. You know, and in my opinion, that's where the bad feelings start anyway, because a lot of people, and this is gonna blow a lot of people's heads off, and I'm gonna just say it anyway. A lot of times, the spouse resents you because, well, you just really weren't the one that they wanted.
Damn. Ouch.
Really ain't got nothing to do with you.
Truth.
It just has everything to do with you.
Oh my gosh.
See, Jen, a lot of the choices are circumstantial more so than it's actually, again, a well thought out process. So when you talk about the Pakistani family, you know, when they say that there's 5 women, okay, I knew somebody who did an arranged marriage. He grew up in LA. His father was black. His mother was Japanese. They had an arrangement when it comes to with another family where they were like, your son's going to marry our daughter. When they got to become adults and he was, you know, working and he had a good job, they were reintroduced to each other. They had an opportunity to kind of date and determine if that arranged marriage was going to work. It worked. They're happy. They have multiple children. He cleared out very well because she's way above his pay grade. He's short, stubby, pimply face, kind of, you know, like bad skin, but she was a beautiful Asian woman. That I was like, wow. And it worked out, and they have healthy children and everything's fine. So I've seen those type of situations work. What I'm saying also though is that when you talk about the 5 families, there's an aspect of comprehensive knowledge that you don't have. What if that young man knows these 5 women from growing up in the village or in the community, so he's already has a familiarity, and now he has a pick of the litter basically. So there's an aspect of attraction that still is in the process, and I still believe that there's a dynamic that has to have some sort of love equation, because if you're not attracted to a person, as you well know, Jen, you're not going to get wet for him, and then you got to lay down and procreate with this guy even though he has money.
But getting wet for somebody and being attracted to somebody and wanting someone inside me is not love. It's not love. It is not love. It will never be love. It feels fucking good. And for some reason, we stamped love on it, which was the worst thing we can do, because the stamp of love comes with endure. We have to endure. We have to tolerate, because we stamped this lust. We stamped this attraction with the word love. And then we made love mean you have to endure. You have to tolerate. You have to put up with. Says sickness and health to death do us part. When all you wanted to do, like I said the other day, is fuck somebody. I said the other day, stop confusing wanting to fuck someone really, really bad with wanting to marry them and impregnate them. Stop doing it. Stop doing it. Because half the time we are attracted to somebody. What that mouth do, what that ass do. I know when I see a man I like, I'm looking at his body. That's what I'm looking at. I'm not wondering what books he reads. I'm looking at his body first and foremost. And then if he's a reader, it's a bonus, more to talk about. And then if he has a sense of humor, yay, we can make jokes, another bonus. If he likes the food I like, yay, another bonus. But that's not love. That's, oh shit, if I partner with this man, it's going to be a fucking good time. But that's not love. You said attraction. Maybe the Pakistani girls, maybe they are from the neighborhood. Maybe he knows them, but that's not love because he's attracted to them. And even in that, she still has to okay it. And I asked the guy, what if they pick those 5 girls and none of them want you? He said they have to pick again another 5. That's how it works until someone says yes. But that's not love. Wanting to fuck somebody isn't love. And we fucked ourselves up with that love shit. Every time I fucked up a relationship, I was so in love. I was so, no, I fucking wasn't. Had some shit in common with a man I wanted to fuck. That's what it was. That's the reality.
So wait a minute. Like, if the Pakistani dude, I'm just thinking how fucked up this could go. Like, okay, so the first 5, like, it's a bust. So the family has to do this all over again.
Yes.
The next 5, it's a bust again. It's like, damn, you went through 10 chicks who couldn't take your gold and said, nah, I'm good. Like, it's gotta hurt, man.
But how often is that gonna happen with
yeah, but I'm sure it happens. Of course. But you know what I mean? You know, I'm just thinking just how bad that can really go. But anyway, I would say this. We need to stop doing as men, because we do this a lot. We're very idealistic when it comes to women, or our idea of how women should be. We need to get away from the idea that women even have to like a motherfucker to fuck them. No, seriously. Like, women don't even have to like a certain dude to even fuck him. She could like what he does. She could like, you know, a certain attribute or appendage. But she doesn't necessarily even have to like a person. And she can walk away from the situation, you know, not falling in love with the person, you know what I mean, and shit like that. It doesn't mean that just because a woman lays down with anybody, immediately there's some sort of emotional connection and shit like that. Man, don't get caught up in that bullshit. That's how a lot of dudes get got. Because guess what? There's some women who know that men think that way, and they'll play the role, and then they'll get in your pockets, and then you fuck around and find out that you the mark now, homie. So, you know what I mean? Just chill out.
Tyrone Chech just dropped a fucking bomb. He said, I believe in respect and loyalty, not love. And let me say this. Can I get an amen in the church? Every time I was done with a motherfucker is because he didn't understand, not love. Because motherfuckers are chock full of love. Everybody loves. I love you. Because they didn't fucking understand the boundaries of respect and loyalty. So fuck your love. Okay? Every single relationship where I said, get the fuck out my life, was because he violated respect and loyalty. Love was good though. Love was abundant. Love was overflowing. Here's some flowers on your birthday. Love was overflowing. Here's good dick. Love was overflowing. But every time I deuces, he didn't fucking bring the respect I needed or the fucking loyalty. Motherfuckers got love for days. Love, love, love. But I love you. You love me. I love you. I love you. Love, 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 love. Now that's a motherfucker I married. I don't know about this love shit that you women like, but I got plenty of respect and loyalty. Give me the ring. I'm sold.
Okay. This
Again, you missed your calling in the Cosa Nostra.
This Tyrone Church guy, I mean, all due respect, he must have listened to me on your show before, because that's exactly what I said was the most important thing was loyalty. Really? And yes, well, this is months ago though. So when that's the first time Joanna Washington was throwing up some super chat shade, and she finally got in. It's the first time I talked to her. She came on.
Yeah, she actually agreed with Tyrone. So you're right.
Yeah. No, Anyway. I'm trying to find out. So you met these Pakistanis. Now, this generational wealth must be something they do here, because 77% of the Pakistani population live on under $5.50 a day. So,
they're not from here. They're not from America. They were from Pakistan.
Well, they must be the upper echelon of the society.
They were. They owned the company I was working for. Like, they owned all that shit, and they came in to check it out, and the Sons came, and I was like, who that?
I'm wondering, man, like, anyway, no, I don't have any problem with I know
matter of fact, a lot of the stores in New York, when you go to Times Square, all the stores that sell souvenirs.
Yeah.
all up and down they own them shits.
Oh.
So I didn't even ask them. So I was like, how do you get to be one of the 5 women? It was like, oh, but you have to, I said, do you have to be Muslim? And it was like, no, but you'd eventually have to convert. And I was like, okay, I'm out.
Oh man. Well,
I was like, okay, I'm out.
Yeah. But
it was
to be independently wealthy, Jen, to be independently wealthy, you wouldn't convert. You wouldn't wear the sheets and the pillowcases.
Huh? Say again.
I said to be independently wealthy, you wouldn't convert for that. Like, come on, like then you're not serious about your money.
I'm serious about my money, but I'm not serious about getting somebody else's money that bad. Like I can't follow. I'd fucking die in a church, a mosque, or wherever the hell it is. I can't do it.
That'd be putting you in the cage, man.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. They were cute though. They were hella cute. They were hella cute, them guys. But I was like, I was ready to. But I was all in. No, but back to what you were saying, no Saint, the loyalty and the respect, because that it was so mind blowing for me to read that, because I realized everybody that I wanted to get away from, that was my biggest issue. It wasn't the love, because they were ready to love on me. It was not the love. It was the fucking respect and the loyalty that they couldn't get through their fucking heads.
Yeah. But I am so glad I grew up the time I did, because at least I had a sense of this fairy tale that when I was younger, because I had the fairy tale like, oh, one day I'm going to get married. I'm going to have kids and it's going to be happily ever after.
We all thought that bullshit.
But I mean, with YouTube, nobody's going to buy it anymore. Seeing these shows, I mean, they need to learn like we did. Oh man, but
okay, you think about that. No,
go
ahead.
No, you go ahead. I lost
DJ
my train.
Eddie King says the men need to get their ass up and work. Thinking about love and sex all the time, you will be left behind, stupid. We live and we die by this. If you want that real money, get your fat ass in shape. Hey, Derek Jackson did, and he's making money hand over fist now.
So yeah, what you were saying about a man, if a man tells you that the one thing he's looking in a relationship is love, then run. I mean, I think you got a point there. I mean, I wasn't looking to get married until I could do everything that you're talking about. I could support a family. So when I had kids, they would have a decent chance, they'd have medical and all that all the stuff that, because if not, I don't know. You bring kids in at a disadvantage. I don't know. That was my whole thing though. Like before I ever thought about starting a family, I had to be set up myself. So you're not rich. I don't mean you have to be rich either, but you gotta, You
don't have to be rich. You just exactly what you did. Prioritize. Can I take care of a fucking family without these kids struggling?
Right. Like you said, I think you said that either yesterday or today. No, I think it was yesterday. You were talking about the braces and things. Exactly. Those things that you don't know that it's going to pop up, that are you going to sit there and nah, man, you got to wait on those braces. Right. You got to go pay for them yourself when you get older.
Joanna Washington said, men in this country are actually offended if a woman even considers his pockets. Give me the Pakistani culture. Yes. I'm telling you, a motherfucker did no lie. I'm not exaggerating. He did a 5-hour stream on me because I said I would not fucking accept a coffee date. A 5-hour stream with a bunch of other fucking buffoons agreeing with him. I wouldn't accept a fucking cup of coffee as a date. This is the men of America.
And I think what is really kind of dumb about having a stream about that. You mean maybe he was just looking for content, but like, okay, Jen doesn't accept a coffee date. Maybe somebody does that you like, just because Jen.
it.
Jen's just because that's Jen's standard. Jen has a lot of standards.
But here's the thing: he's mad that I'm not on his level. That's where the anger comes in. Not the coffee. It's that he wants me, individual me. He wants the Jen to accept that $5 coffee date. Is what I said the other day. There are plenty of women that accept that $5 coffee date, but he doesn't want them. He wants me to be one of them, and I'm not one of them.
That's what I don't understand though. Like, I look at you, yeah, sure. Would I go out and, of course. I mean, you're a beautiful woman, but there's a lot of beautiful women that don't have that same outlook, that may say, yeah, let's go on a coffee date. I understand. I mean, I had the girl out in California. I mean, you know, I never heard of the term Dutch treat. She, hey, let's go Dutch and do, you know, which means, you know, she's going to pay for her half. I'll pay for my half. And she was beautiful. You know, I didn't say, hey, can we go? I let her offer. I mean, I wasn't going to say, hey, can we go Dutch to her? But I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, different people have different outlooks on things. So just because Jen doesn't accept the coffee date, well, then don't go out with Jen. Go out with somebody who does.
You see how simple life can be, but people complicate their lives. They force the person that's not into that, and that builds resentment as well. I'm telling you up front, so you know, homie, I don't do the coffee.
Right.
Go get you a woman that does the coffee, because I'm gonna look at you a certain type of way. Thank you for the super chat, Don Levon. Don Levon said, really, I believe in the illusion of love. Look at prime time. I mean, if you first meet and you meet for coffee, vaya con Dios, you won't be meeting me for the first time with a cup of coffee. Nummy.
If you first meet, you can meet on FaceTime.
Right. Oh, yeah,
I can literally call you with a camera turned on. I can literally call you with a fucking camera turned on from the coffee shop. If coffee seems to be the recurring theme, I mean, you motherfuckers really harping on this coffee shit. So
I've never drank coffee. That's another thing. I do not drink coffee of any sort. So that's like, when I hear that, I'm like, what is this coffee thing about? What the fuck is coffee?
What about going out to a winery then?
I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing.
Yeah, I like it too.
I will tell you one thing, and pardon me, I'm eating. Excuse me. But I will tell you one thing. There was a time back in the days, man, that I miss, where you meet a girl in whatever instance, and you just go out on a date and you have a nice time, man. And you know, whatever the date was, however it cost, it was on you, stupid, to basically figure out whether or not it was in your budget. You know what I mean? You choose a spot that you can afford, you dumbass. You know what I mean? So, you know, having these $200 date conversations and all this other shit. Excuse me. Okay, cool, whatever. You can't afford that. Don't go. You don't have to choose a spot that costs $200 fucking dollars. You know what I mean? First of all,
on that men want to do the bare minimum, and they want to be praised for it. And universe forbid you don't praise them for doing the fucking bare minimum. I know me, when I can't afford something, I'm like, I can't really do it. I'm not gonna fucking do it. I'm not gonna do it and then sit and disgruntled and mad and regret it. If you can't fucking afford to take a woman out, the one that you want, for more than a coffee, then don't fucking do it. First of all, your ass should be concentrating and focused on money. Let's start there, not my ass, right? You should be concentrating and focused on money. And that's a sign too. That's a red flag that you already struggle dating. That's a red flag to me. If you struggle dating, that's a red flag. That is, I'm gonna think that's how you look at money. That's how you look at planning. That's how you look at women. I want no parts of it. Get you a woman who'll be more than happy to sit at Dunkin' Donuts with you. There are many of them. There are many, many, many of them. I'm not one of them. I'm not doing it.
Okay. Jen, give me a moment right here. I'm speaking to prime time. Okay, a time back in the day when people met for coffee. Okay, young man. Clearly, based on your avatar, you seem to be a young individual. So I'm going to give you some game. Right after the creation of fire, men around my age, you know, in the very dark ages, before the internet, We used to do things like, meet people at bars, the library, so on and so forth. Initially, we used to get into these conversations and meet people in the physical world. After that, then you would go take them out on a date, you have a nice time, so on and so forth, and whatever happens to the relationship after, happens afterwards. Now, if you happen to be in a coffee shop back in those days, and there weren't that many coffee shops, believe it or not, you know what I mean? But if you happen to be in one and you met someone and you had a conversation, you know what I mean? You're 44, bro, I'm 40, you're 34, okay? Bro, I'm 44. We're 10 years apart, trust me. Completely different span of, of, dating politics and expectations. Anyway, like I said, there was a time when you handled the, how should I say it, the small talk in the physical world based on where you were at the time, whether it was the library, the school, whatever it was. You know what I mean? You handle the small talk, and then after that, you took them out on a respectable date, something you can afford. You know what I mean? You don't have to sit there and whine and complain about the cost of the date. If you just stay within your budget and stay within your range and swim around and swim in the pool of women who you don't think is going to cost you a $200 fucking date. It's very simple. You know what I mean? You guys you create a lot of problems for yourselves. You just don't have to.
Yeah. You know how I knew he was not in the same generation as me? I was thinking to myself, when was there a time where people went to a coffee? I was thinking to myself, when I was in that age range, I said the coffee shop was like my dad at the diner sitting around with a bunch of old people.
I've never
exactly.
There wasn't Starbucks. There was no Starbucks around when I was growing up.
Listen, if I'm lying, I'm dying, I'm flying. Never in the history of my life on this planet has a man asked me on a coffee date. Not a one time. That shit I started hearing on YouTube. I started hearing that shit on YouTube. Never in my life has a man asked for my number or hollered or said, hey, I'd like to take you out for some coffee. And this right here, I hear it parroted so many times. Also, I don't think it's affordability. I think they don't want to waste their money on someone who they don't think was worth it. It is affordability. It is money. It is about money. It is about money. That's what it's about at the end of the day. And that's fine. That is fine. I don't care if you're the fry cook at McDonald's. Just date in your dating pool and stop getting mad at women that are not in your dating pool. Why is it
Jen,
that I have
to learn? I'm going to give you an example, Jen. I remember one time before I was having a conversation, and I wasn't bragging or anything. I was just having a conversation in a room full of, guys online. And we were talking about costs and whatever. And I was like, oh, yeah, I think the last date that I was on, it cost me around $300 or $400. Motherfuckers lost their minds. And I'm like, what the fuck is the problem? I didn't see a big deal about it. But they started, well, you don't know if she was worth it and so on and so forth. First of all, who the fuck are you to sit here and tell me whether or not she was worth it? That's my call. I'm the guy in that situation. That's not your call. Now, if you think the chick or the broad that you're fucking with was worth, 25 cents or a cup of coffee or whatever the fuck it is, those things cost like maybe $10 now. That's on you. That's your call. How I run my situation in my ship, that's my call. That doesn't make me a trick. That doesn't make me a whatever and so on and so forth. It makes me a person who basically says, okay, I can afford to do this. I want to go in this particular direction. Let me rock. I don't owe you anything.
But it also goes to show how and I'll pass the mic to modern Renaissance men. It also goes to show how they view women. When you say, I don't want to spend more than $5 on a cup of coffee because I don't know if you're worth it, it also shows where women fall, right? On their priority list, on their value list. It shows a lot because I spend money all the fucking time on frivolous shit, stupid shit. I'm never thinking, I don't want, I don't know if this is worth it. If I want to fucking do it, I'm going to spend the money to do it, no matter whether it's paying for one of my female friends to do something, whether it's taking a guy out on a date. I'm not thinking this shit may break my pocket, so let me not do it. That to me is I can't even put it into words. I don't want to spend $30 on a steak because what if she's not worth it? Didn't you have to eat? Isn't that what you normally do? So you don't go out to dinner. You don't take yourself out to dinner. You don't take yourself out to see shows. You don't treat your friends. You don't take your parents. I don't understand this mentality. I don't get it. I fear for the younger folk. I just don't get it. What does that even mean, though? Can a man explain that to me? I don't want to spend more than $5 because I don't know if she's worth it. Worth what? What were you doing today? What were you doing today if this coffee date wasn't happening? Like, what were you doing today? I mean, you spent $300 on Jordans. Was Michael Jordan worth it? I don't know. You go to Old Navy, you spend $300. I don't understand this mentality. It is bizarre. And I'm so glad I'm not dating in this generation. Lord, welcome modern Renaissance man to the panel. How are you?
I'm doing good. Salute. Yeah, a lot of my subs was like, hey, they're over on this channel. And they was like, come and check this out. You'll be interested in this conversation. So salute to all of y'all on the panel here. Yeah, I've been listening probably for about 45 minutes now. And for some of the things that you guys were talking about, I always thought that it was really clear. I was like, it's too cliche. Yeah, I like to take you out for a cup of coffee. I always thought that was just like, it was like cringe. I'm like, nobody know how to be original? You know what I mean? Like, is it always kind of like take you out for a cup of coffee and like, what is that? I just thought it was just a weird thing that everybody just seemed to kind of go down that road. And like you mentioned earlier, I never heard or even known of anybody that I've known of that went on dates and said, oh yeah, this girl I met, man, I'm gonna take her out for a cup of coffee. I've never heard anybody say that. At first I thought it was only in movies. But until people been coming and asking me to jump on some of these panels and get into the conversations with relationships and all that, that's the only time I've heard that as well. And what you guys mentioned earlier too, it is really weird to me that these guys are really like, it's like double Dutch. Like, hey, I want to take this girl out, but I ain't trying to spend no money because I don't know if she's gonna be worth it. I'm like, what is the it? When you say worth it, what do you mean by worth it? What's the it you talking about?
That's a great question.
And when
that's a great question.
Yeah. So whenever they do that, because like again, it sounds real good when you hear people say certain cliches or words like that. Hey man, no man, because I ain't about to take this girl out and spend $100 on it and she ain't worth it. And I'll say, okay, what's the it? When you say she's not worth it, can you explain me what the it is? Then I can actually probably give you a little bit more advice on. None of them can ever explain to me what the it is that she's not worth. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying that for is that I think I forget one of the fellows was on here saying how, you know, when you even first encounter someone, you might meet them or run into them at the library and y'all just spark off, hit off in the conversation or something like that. And then as they carry on, you know, hey, you know, do you come here often? What days are you usually here? Well, hey, it'd be cool if I saw you again. You know, we can talk a little bit about whatever that book was that you were reading. Let the conversation pop off. And then if it's like going to turn into a date, then if these guys, I'm not kidding. It may sound crazy, but it's so, to me, it's not hard. It's really basic. You know what I mean? But these guys today, because everybody's so on social media and letting social media be their mindset, it teaches them how to think, what to do, what to feel, that they don't even know how to do this on their own. So I say, guys, it's really basic. If you guys hit it off in conversation with some of these girls or whatever, and as y'all get deeper into the conversation, you want to take her out, y'all never stop and thought like, oh yeah, so I would have take you out somewhere. What is like a place that you like to eat at? Or what is a place you'd like to go? And I like to go to such and such. What would be wrong with him going, I hear you on that, but you probably got to give me about a good 4 weeks to get that. Is there a different place you'd like to go that might be a little bit? I mean, I'm done with you. I'm done with that nigga. He sat there and but what's wrong with saying, but I'm saying, when I told them that, they have not come back and told me, oh yeah, I did say that, Ty. They've never once told me that the girl said, oh wait, you can't afford to take me here. Well, no, I ain't done. They've never said that. They'll say, oh, well, there is another place over by such and such that we can go to.
I would see that's original. I would think that was funny. If a guy tells me, you know, give me 4 weeks, I'd be like, look, I'll go half if I like him, right? If we kicking it and we're vibing. Like, I don't understand. Well, What's up, Sherelle? What's up,
That's
Mama?
an example of a young man using his head, though.
Like these
You know what I
guys
mean?
are being guided by people that are running. That's why I said earlier, you're listening to these love gurus and these relationship coaches, and they're coaching you into walls. They're coaching you into walls.
I gotta tell you this though. That right there is strategically planned because I do counseling. I mean, I've been married for 21 years, and me and my wife, we do marriage counseling, things like that. But we do marriage counseling based on before all this YouTube and these people on YouTube came around, because I will sit there and let some of my subscribers know, y'all, I'm calling these guys out. These guys, they strategically do that in a way, and I'm in medicine, okay? So one of the things we do in medicine is that, and I say this all the time, I don't have nothing to do with prescribing medicine. I can't stand it. But what we do is that in the hospitals, a lot of times, if you have a patient that comes in, you are trained to get that patient on a medication that's going to keep that patient coming back. They're never going to be healed. And the doctors them know this. They're never going to be healed. The idea is to keep you on the medication so I can keep on charging your insurance, so I can keep on getting that money. Oh, it's not working for you anymore? Well, let me give you a different one. This one might work for it, and get you hooked on that for a little bit. So what I'm saying that for is a lot of these relationship guru guys, they strategically plan these things this way to keep those people coming back because it keeps their pocket filled. Because the answer can be quite easy, but they don't want them to have the answer. Well, I tell you what, do this or do that. Maybe you should this. Well, if these guys if you have a guru or somebody you've been going to for relationship counseling, you had them over a year, something's wrong. That something is wrong. There's just no way.
And Jen, it is bizarre. The more I think about this whole coffee date thing, it is bizarre because when I was, a young man, I really liked the girl. I'm trying to impress her. I'm trying to bring her I was trying to bring her to the best place I could bring her to and spend the most money I could possibly spend so I get that second date and get to know her a little bit better. So it is really a bizarre phenomenon if people are actually doing this.
I told you that guy did a 5-hour stream on I wouldn't accept a coffee date. And here's the thing, right? Water seeks its own level. If you want me to go out on a coffee date because you don't know if I'm worth it, then guess what? I'm going to show up in a fucking headscarf and some jogging pants and slippers with some socks on, because I don't know if you're worth it. I don't know if you're worth taking my hair down. I don't know if you're worth me throwing this outfit on. I don't know if you're worth it. But are you going to be okay with that? Are you going to be okay with a woman showing up with a bonnet because she doesn't know if you're worth it? You see how that works? That's how silly it sounds.
Yes.
You guys ever go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I will say this. Look, man, if you're out here just doing coffee dates, you better be an interesting motherfucker. I mean, you better have a hell of a sense of humor on you. You better be incredible.
A body.
Ron said you better own the coffee shop.
Dame, you better tell these young boys, man. You better go tell
take it
these
to the
young
coffee
boys,
shop
man,
you own.
Man, listen. If you walk up in there and you ask her whatever she wants, and you yell at the back, Jeeves, get the young lady whatever she wants. Oh yeah, by the way, I own this spot. That's a flex.
You better be Juan Valdez.
You know what I mean? Exactly. You know what I mean? It's a completely different situation.
I don't know how they rationalize dating, right? Because dating, ing at the end, means that you date different people to see who you mesh with, right? So I don't understand people like, oh no, I don't know if she's gonna be worth it. Worth what? Dating is getting to know people, meeting people, hanging out with people, seeing how they are, eating, going to dinners, going to shows, So I really don't get this. I think those type of people should stay home. And I say the same thing to the women. If a woman is talking about, well, I ain't got to get dressed and I'm not putting stay the fuck home. Like, you have to put effort into dating. It's like nobody wants to do shit anymore. No, everybody wants ass. Everybody wants service. But nobody wants to work for it. Nobody wants to work for it. Nobody wants to pay for it. Nobody wants to get dressed for it. People just want to show up and get serviced. What is happening? I want to pass the mic to Fighter Complex. What's up, Fighter Complex?
We're shaking. Listen, man, I came up here, I don't like hug boxes and echo chambers, so I'm gonna give my opinion, right? I'm probably the youngest dude on the panel. Now,
how old are you?
I'm 30.
Okay.
So in my experience in dating, right, I just went off of like what I felt like doing. So it's gonna be whatever my weekend's gonna be like. Hey, wanna come take this trip to Philly with me? I'm gonna be filming these boxing fights. Hey, do you wanna shit? I wanna feel like I wanna go eat here, or shit, you wanna take a hike? What is whatever I felt like I wanted to do, then I would try to include the woman with my activity, right? And I think if you want to impress a woman, that'll be a cool way, because she's like, oh, this guy's interesting. Look, he's into this, he's into that. He's not this average, boring dude just on a date trying to impress me so bad. That's the way I always looked at it, and it many times it turned out well for me. So I don't think there's this. I think it's just boring to like, hey, let me take you to dinner. Like, just add a spin on it. I think women are tired of let's go and get something to eat. I think they're tired of that. So that's just me, my personal experience. You could take that woman on a hike, and that probably been the greatest date she's ever been on her life. That's just me. That's just what I believe. That's what I believe.
Okay. Really quickly, thank you for the super chat, Don Levon. Don Levon said these dating coaches will tell you how to get dates, not how to keep them, so they can get return customers. Yep, that's just what Modern Renaissance just said. I wanted to say to what Fighter Complex said, even with you inviting a woman out to what it is you're doing, there's still some effort in that, right?
Of course.
You wouldn't say, well, I'm not going to take her to see what I do because she may not be worth it, right? You're like, I want to hang out with her and let me see if she wants to do what I want to do. There's still some effort in that. Damien, what say you?
Yeah, I'm just want to kind of address what Fighter Complex was just saying. I get what you're saying. You're trying to set yourself apart from the standard shit people are doing. I get you, but you got to make sure that she's interested in the shit that you rocking with. Because if she doesn't give a shit about fighting, you just gonna be dragging her around. She'll be like, damn, I'm just sitting here and not doing nothing while you off handling business. Exactly. So you got to have some idea of what her interests are if you're going to even try to think of out of the box thinking. I get it, but I get what you're saying, but I women love to eat. I mean, seriously, especially if it's a nice place.
I mean, we love to eat with human beings. I get it.
Women, but I don't mean eat before sustenance. I mean, women love the experience of eating. I don't mean just putting stuff in your mouth. They like the whole thing in totality. They like the ambiance. They like the conversation. They like the lighting. They like the wine. They like the atmosphere. Women are all about that. They like the set. They love the vibe of a situation. So you got to make sure you're setting about. Hold on. Let me finish, brother. Yeah. You got to make sure you're setting a vibe that they can rock with. And if you're doing it right, you creating a vibe or a new experience they never had before, and that they're gonna be really feeling with. They'll be like, oh, this is something new. This vibe, this experience is new. And it don't take a lot of money. It just takes money well spent, you got to just spend it in the right way. And I think that's where people get it mixed up. It's like, oh, I got to go out and spend $350. If you take it to like I remember once I took a woman to like this Italian restaurant called Frenze by Night, and I just happened to know the owner, and I didn't spend a lot of money, but he came to the table. I was chopping it up and stuff like that. So he just made yourself feel like, oh, this dude must know people. He must be doing something. And even if it wasn't that, if you act like, okay, say you take her to a restaurant and you say, the scallop calamari is just amazing. And you say, I suggest you take. If you start suggesting wine she may have never tried. If you just show you have some kind of depth to you or what have you, you can get away cheap. It's just she's gonna be more experienced with the new experience than she will be how much you actually spent. And I think it takes some skill to learn that.
No, I wasn't referring more to like what you're spending. I was more referring to, I never like to just do the regular, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do because it's a date. No, I just, whatever I'm involved with as an activity, I'm like inviting her to my little world, and she's gonna like that. The whole point of a date is to impress. So we're not trying to impress her. Yes, you guys are. That's the whole point. It's like an interview or whatever you want to call it, right? So I'm bringing her into my world, and she's gonna be impressed with that. So my life is gonna speak for itself. I like to do things a little differently. I don't like to do everything like how everyone else is so boring. I get bored with just going out on dates, like dinner dates. I've gotten bored with that because I've gone on so many.
I'll say this.
Yeah.
I'll say this. You also have to be careful with bringing a woman into your world because what you do may be exciting to you but boring to her. I'll give you a quick example. I was talking to a guy, physically attracted. I was like, yes, you know what? I'm free. Let's do this. Returned his call. We're talking. I'm suggesting things because sometimes guys don't know what you like. And I'm suggesting fun, simple shit. I told this story before. There was an adult bouncy house tour that was going on, adults only, bouncy house, drinks, all of that. I was like, hey, there's this thing coming in town. No, I don't want to do that. Okay, well, how about, let me make it simple for you. How about we meet at, well, it's 8 o'clock and I live where he was at, but you know what? And then he called me back and he was like, I go fishing weekend.
I remember this story.
Remember this story? It was like, I go fishing on the weekend. So if you like, I'll just pick you up and you could come with me fishing. I was like, what? So forget what I suggested. Forget you want me into your world because this is just what you do every fucking weekend anyway. So it's no effort because this is what you do every weekend anyway. And he was like, yeah, you could come on. He was like, you could come on the boat. You could tan if you want. I'm like, what?
A boat hood ornament.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if she says no to that, then that's okay because there's gonna be someone who's okay with that.
Absolutely. I agree with you.
Jen, let me give you a story real quick, Jen. I'll go back to a situation where I've actually met someone. This is years ago. I met someone at the library, you know, and one of the things that I did is that not only spark a conversation and so on, I paid attention to what she was reading. Now, I realized the poet that she was reading, the person that she was into. So we keep talking or whatever. Eventually, I did take out, you know, we did go eat, you know, at a nice spot. At the end of the, but at the end of the day, I had a surprise for her. You know, I was gonna, you know, I mean, I took her to a particular place, and the place that I took her to was basically a private engagement with a poet that she actually liked, and I arranged to have one of her poetry books signed.
Did she leave with him? Did she leave with him afterwards?
Nah, she left with me, homie.
Oh, okay, guys, just joking.
You know what I mean? And you know, the point of the matter is that, you know what I mean, I basically took the time out to understand who the person who the person was, her interests, and so on and so forth. And I did something special that would be considered not cliche. But all it takes is just 5 seconds for you to understand what the person's interests are. And then you can create a situation where you take them, you can find common ground. And maybe she was, you know what I mean, into fighting and so on and so forth. If she confirmed that, then yeah, you did a great thing. You know what I mean? It makes sense. It makes sense for both parties. But you know, it's best in the beginning to set the tone where you're both enjoying a situation, you know what I mean, together as opposed to yeah, you're in my world and whether or not you dig it, then that's just on you. You know what I mean? You just want to make sure that in the beginning, you know what I mean, you just want to make sure a person, you know, you just want to make sure that you're in an environment, in a situation that both people can, you know what I mean, can say that, yeah, this is what I'm into too, and so on and so forth. And you can enjoy it together.
So let's dissect this comment for a minute because this is interesting. Marcus Carter says, why not get coffee first? And if you like the person, the next day can be a papadilla. So you can feel the person out first. Here's the thing, right? When this even happens in the animal kingdom, I've seen birds do it, right? They peacock, they throw their feathers around, they spin around. Birds do a lot of shit to get attention. Okay, let me tell you, the male birds do a lot of shit to get attention, right?
Prettiest birds.
Okay, listen, men, do you realize that if you start with papadilla, that's you peacocking? Right? She's feeling you out. You're feeling her out. It's not just you feeling her out. She's feeling you out too. Right? If I have the choice of 2 dates and a man is telling me coffee and the other one is telling me that restaurant, I'm going to go with this guy. He just beat you out of it. Like, it's like there's no competition in men anymore. no fuck.
They don't understand it. They don't understand the concept of competition.
I wish I can show you what I literally what you just said. I literally wrote this down right here. Before you said, I literally wrote down the animal kingdom can sit there and display everything that men need to do, because out there in nature, the most distinct animals are the males. The males are the most distinct animals. How do you know it's a male gorilla? Because it's a silverback. How do you know it's a male lion? He has a mane. How do you know it's a male bird? Because they're the prettiest, the most brightest.
Yep.
But even though they're the prettiest and the brightest, look what, even being that pretty and the bright, they still have to impress the female to get the female, even though they already got it. But it literally has been taken. They have convinced men to not do that. Now men are, why do I got to impress her? Why can't she be reciprocated and impress me? That's some weird stuff to me. It's really, really weird.
It's like men. It's like men want a first bet, no sweat.
I'm saying, you know what? And the sad part about it, though, is that why I say that is that I told people that I understand that we the most creative and the most unique species that's on this earth right now. But at the same time, nature will not lie. People can lie. Talking points can lie, but nature will not lie. Women naturally will gravitate to that very thing that's in them naturally when it comes to men. And that's why women are complaining about men right now, because men seem like they want to be treated like the woman. I want her to rub. It's weird. It's weird. And I mean, a lot of guys like flat out just started, nigga, what you know about that? I'm like, I don't know. I only been married 21 years, so I don't know anything. So yeah, I don't know. No, but I just know that when it all comes down to it, when we have deep conversation.
So now we're getting deeper. Now we understand. This is the train of thought. Primetime says Coffee doesn't care for competition, and he says men are usually the prize. So at least now I understand his train of thought. That explains some things. All right, to each his own. To each his own.
Wow, I would like him to.
Men are the prize.
Men are the prize. See, that's what I'm saying. That to me, that's weird. It's like, I mean, I guess like you said, to each his own. It's that same notion of, I think it's like cringe. I forget, somebody showed me a video of the woman proposing to the man. That was so cringe to me. Like, I don't know. It was just weird. It just made me feel weird, because I'm just under the impression that we always have this natural thing in us to be on the hunt. The men are naturally in us to actually seek out women. I mean, you can see a bunch of beautiful women, but then one to really just kind of, you will hone in on her. And then it's like, I'm going to do what I need to do to try to get her. So what am I going to do? I'm going to try to do everything I can to impress her, because my intentions is to get with this woman. If my intentions is to, and I'm just being honest, some guys, if your intentions is to get with this woman, just to smash that, I don't coach people like that. I'm talking about guys that have the intentions on get into a relationship because they're trying to find somebody they want to be with for the rest of their lives. And if they're doing that, you're going to do what you want to do to impress them, to get them, to keep them. So that's the it that a lot of guys don't think about. So I'm not going to spend $300 if it's not worth it. Well, you paid $300 for the food, but what you're supposed to be there for is what you're not focusing on. You focus on how much you spent versus how much you actually engaged with her while y'all were out. And then when you say it like that, so wait, you went out on a date just so you can say, I spent $200 on this girl. Ooh, you know what I mean? But what did you get out of that date, though? What color were her eyes? What did she talk about? How many siblings did she have? You know, what she say her favorite food? What did she say she liked to do? Oh man, all I know, she just told me that the food was good. So I mean,
I wonder if, and I'm just curious. I'm not beating up on nobody, but I'm just wondering if a man is in a room with other men and there are women there, when someone says Coffee Guy doesn't care for competition, like, what does Coffee Guy do in a room full of men and women? Does he just walk out? I'm curious. Like, what is he?
Honestly, inferiority complex. I kid you not. Usually they have an inferiority complex. Then they'll be, if you'll see most men that are, you say the Coffee Guys or the other guys, most of the other guys that are confident is going to like do what I said. It's going to naturally be an instinct to say, okay, this is competition. And if I'm competing with these other dudes, I'm about to do something to impress this female. And the Coffee Guy most likely will sit back and say, man, it ain't even worth all that. I mean, these niggas up here simping. They'll come up with all kind of things to say about the guy that actually went over and won the chick. He's so wrong in what he's doing. He's so backwards in what he's doing, but he the one that actually left with her.
Don Levon said, how can you tell a woman you're a prize while feeding her coffee?
Here's the thing. I think it's about embarrassment. I think it's about embarrassment. I think a lot of these guys don't want to spend they don't want to invest a lot of money or time into a situation. It not work out in the manner that they hoped, and then they think she probably gonna run on social media, and basically you just drag the motherfucker, you know what I mean, and clown him and so on and so forth, or they just can't take the loss, period. Which it says it speaks to you as a man and your inability to handle and process rejection. As a man, you will hear a lot more no's than you hear yeses, and that's okay. You have to concentrate on perseverance. You have to concentrate on resilience. Like, for instance, when I took that woman, you know what I mean, to go to see her favorite poet to get, you know what I mean, her book signed, I didn't once think for a second or even care if she left with the dude. I don't give a fuck, because at the end of the day, I'm me. So, you know what I mean, I'm secure in myself to actually move in a particular manner where it was like, yo, this is what I want to do. Yeah, I want to impress her. If it doesn't turn out in the way that I want to, you know what I mean, that I wanted to do, you know what I mean, then
I think
guess
you
what? I
lying.
move
I
on.
think you lying. I think
And I move
if the
on
dude
to the
would
next
have took her, I
situation.
think you would have been upset. I
Hey,
No, I
think you're
wasn't,
lying.
brother. I really
Jen,
wasn't.
you see, prime time coffee guy's response. He said, "Coffee guys usually wait for women to come to them. Other than that, it's not worth it." That's kind of exactly what Modern Renaissance man said. It was just like, you know, first they're gonna say, "Oh, these chicks is tripping. These bitches is tripping in here," or transversely, they're gonna try to elevate themselves over the man that the other men that are out there peacocking by shaming them for some way, like, oh, look at you, you got your Sunday suit on for this chick. Oh, look at
Exactly.
you. They're gonna try to shame
Exactly.
the other man and
Right.
try to bring them down so they can appear superior to the other
Exactly.
person. That's the other thing
That's
that
what I
they're gonna try
said.
to, besides saying that, you know, uh, uh that these hoes are tripping or what have you. So
Is
I
there such thing
mean,
as overkill to
So
you guys?
let me
Does that
let me
exist?
respond really quick
Nah,
to let me
not
respond
for
really
me.
Oh
quick to
wait,
I don't
overkill
think.
doesn't exist.
modern Renaissance.
Not for me.
No.
I
Not
just
for
wanted
me.
to
Overkill doesn't exist for me.
All right.
hold on.
I wanted to
Yes.
respond to modern Renaissance in relationship to the statement that Brother Haran made, and I was going to just say that, you know, if you do an effort to take a woman out and something nice, and she goes off with that dude, that's not a reflection of you. That's a reflection of her, and that's why it's not a
No, that was me,
loss.
bro. He didn't say that. That was me. That was
Yeah,
Fighter. Not
that was
that was
Fighter.
in Renaissance.
Yeah,
That was
fighter.
Oh, okay, my bad. Yes, sir. But that's the dynamic. That's a reflection of her, not the individual that created the date.
Right.
You
And
get
then
what
you
I'm
know
saying?
with that,
So I can
And
concur with Haram when he says he's not going to be hurt that she stepped off, because then she clearly defined who she was.
And I'm gonna say something I
Exactly.
know Jen gonna 100% believe, we're gonna agree with this, is that if she's feeling you, there's no such thing as overdoing it. There's no such thing as overcompensate. If she's feeling what you're doing,
Exactly.
there's no such thing as doing too much. That don't
Yeah,
exist
but
when
you
somebody's
won't find
feeling you.
out. You won't find out until afterwards. So that's the whole
Now,
thing.
you find out, you know right away if a woman is feeling you if if you
that,
know what's up.
that's
Women
another.
women make it real obvious.
It's interesting to me.
Uh,
It's interesting to me how
Yeah.
I agree. Women have no game at all. That's a fact.
it's interesting to me how so many men don't have discernment. Men on the panel, men in the chat are saying, I don't know if I don't know if she gonna like me. I don't know if she gonna be worth it. You can't talk to a woman and discern whether or not she's feeling you or digging you. You have no discern. You have not a
nah,
clue. You have
what
no idea.
no, of course, but you can never tell 100%. Nothing is 100%.
Nothing exactly. Nothing is 100%.
Nothing is
and
Well, you
100%.
can tell if she's giving you the opportunity, because basically, I think a lot of times, if you don't get me wrong, this is not for everybody, but for the most part, if a woman is giving you her time and attention in any situation, you are working with it. It's your job to lose. Like they say, you're starting high, and you can say some dumb shit, do some dumb shit that's gonna fuck it up. But she's giving you the time and energy. You can, all you can do is build from that, or you can just shit all over the situation and fuck it up. So I'm thinking, if women lets you know, okay, I'm sticking with this dude, I'm sitting with this dude, I'm talking to this dude, especially, I'm not meaning if you're tricking, if you're like spending a bunch of money or whatever. I'm just saying, if you are sitting there, if she's sitting there engaging in your conversation, she's looking in your eye, she's doing those non-verbal cues, like, you know, touching you, laughing a little bit too loud, you know, touching her hair, doing things like that, doing the things that non-verbally that you should be able to pick on, that she's into you, you're gonna know right away how much effort is to put
Can I ask
in
you, have you
moving
ever been
forward.
incorrect? Have you ever been
Have I
incorrect?
been incorrect?
Yeah, about a woman like you?
No.
Never in your life. Okay.
Never in my life.
Yeah, and I was going to add to that. I mean, pretty much what I always do too, as well, is like, I think a lot of times I tell people you go into a conversation, or you go into the conversation with the intentions of actually listening and learning, or you go into the conversation just throwing your stuff out there. Because like what Jen just got done saying, she said, it seems like a lot of men don't have discernment. And if you have other women that are saying the same thing, you would think that men would take what they say and say, okay, maybe I need to kind of pay a little bit more attention to something. But most men, oh, no, that ain't it. Y'all just be. It's like, wow, they just got done literally telling you the issue or the reason. But a lot of guys still would just like, well, no, that ain't it. So what I'm saying that for is that I'm with I forget, I can't see his name right there. I think it's Dame.
Yeah, it's Dame.
I think he just made a comment. When I met my wife, I was courting 9 women. Okay. And the intentions was to do nothing more than to get to find out who is getting ready to be the person that's about to be with me for the rest of my life. And so in doing so, these conversations that we had, you know how it is. Y'all ever been in conversation with someone, you will talk about something, throw something out there, and you waiting for them to say something. They just kind of, oh, yeah, that's what's up. I'm like, yeah, this ain't gonna work. I can know. Right? I'm having it's like the type of questions or the type of things that we're talking about. She should be able to just say something, right? Oh yeah. If I ask you, oh yeah, have you ever had X, Y, and Z? Oh yeah. Whenever I was and I just let her talk and So what about whenever you did? I'm interested in what's coming out of her mind. But if she just keep giving me well yeah, well yeah, well yeah, that's good.
So
and
Myron,
I'm like, yeah,
can I ask you this question? Myron, I know you were married very young, because I remember you from other panels. But now I don't know if your dating experience is as vast as mine, right? Just because the fact that you were married so young, right? So you never dated a woman and you felt like, oh damn it, everything seems to be going good, and then out of nowhere, poof, she's gone, right?
No.
That ghost, right? That never happened.
No, sir.
Never.
Yeah, and I'm not. I mean, I wouldn't be lying to you, because the thing is, the reason why I say that is because I really was intentional on finding. I wasn't dating just to be saying I want a girlfriend or somebody. That I was really looking for a wife. I mean, I know I was young, but the streets and all that stuff like that and the things that I went through matured me early. So I really was in it to look for me a wife, man. And I mean, it came to where you were narrowing things down. But as you got to know them a little better, you'll find out that, in time, some of them can, because, a lot of people put on the front, and one of the things I did to make a lot of people uncomfortable, I mean, it works really well, is that I know some people don't agree with it. It's completely fine. But one of the things I've done is that when we talk, that's one deal. But when we talking about dating, it's like, hey, would you be okay with coming over to my house and meeting my family? See, I know it's cliche to say after about 6 or 7 months of dating a girl, then I'm gonna introduce her to my family. But what I like to do is do that for the jump, because what it does, it keeps each of us from being fake. And I would ask her, hey, if you don't mind, I would like to meet your family and da 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 da. So if I go around her and her family and she's acting a funny way, usually family are kind of like, look at you funny, like, why are you acting weird? You acting, and then you can kind of pick up, okay, so she's not like how she kind of was and all this and that. I'm not saying it works for everybody, but that's something that I did. And then let's just say, this sound crazy, I'm just talking about, this is me, y'all. And so when I did narrow it down to possibly like the last 3 that I actually was like, man, this is kind of tightening up, that's when I make it serious. And I actually start talking to her parents on an individual basis. I would actually say, Miss such and such, you mind if I have a talk with you or something like that, sometime, whatever. I'll talk to her. Hey, I'm really, really interested in your daughter. And I'm not trying to really throw my feelings in there yet, but I really am interested in her. Baby, she just had a boyfriend 6 weeks ago. And before that, she had you seem like a really good young man. So, my daughter, that's my baby, but no, she ain't for this right now. It's like, well, cool. I know most people are not going to go to that extreme, but like I said, that was me, because I was really looking for my wife, who I was going to be with for the rest of my life.
Yeah, now y'all dudes bad. Y'all batting 1,000 over here, man.
No, hold on a second.
Let me mute up. I'm gonna listen to y'all.
I want to address something Fighter said, because I've done it. Okay, and I know exactly what you're talking about. There have been times, like you just said, everything was fine with a woman, and then she disappears. That's usually because of something you did or said that turned her off, and a better option came along. That is what.
That is the point I was going to say.
That is what you're not understanding. So, and that's how life is. Women are allowed to change their minds, just like men are allowed to change their minds. You can go on a date and be like, all right, she's cool, but not that cool. She's not really my style. I see her when I see her, and vice versa. So when you're talking about, oh, you never had a woman, everything was fine, then she's gone, it was something you did or said, or someone had more than a cup of coffee for her.
Because like what Dane, like, okay, like
hold on, let
in Dane's defense right there.
Hold on, let me respond because it's like I can see Sherelle's response. I feel like this something we said is breaking people's brain up in this motherfucker.
No, Jen, I want to say one thing.
Don't come for princess.
You heard that?
No, I'm not saying it.
Jen responded. Hold on, because Jen said something, right? What I want to say is, I don't think just the better date necessarily wins you the woman. It's more than that. So we can't just go to the better date, right?
But this is let me stop you. This is the mistake men make. Women give you the answer and you keep contradicting. I am a woman. I've been a woman my whole life. Okay. I have sisters, cousins, mother, grandmother, daughter, women all around me. Been talking to me my entire life for decades. I am telling you as a woman, the better date, okay? The better date will win over you wanting to take me to go see what you do on the weekend for work.
No.
Yes, it happens.
Okay. All right.
If you want to take me to your job, and I'm kind of talking to some other guy I work with, and he's like, let's go on a helicopter ride this weekend. I'm not calling you back. That is life. That is hypergamy. It is real. You can't, when someone's giving you the answer, you can't keep, that's not what it was. Another guy came along and just peacocked better than you did. It happens.
But my job could have been where you met a bunch of celebrities at a boxing fight where you had to use wear a badge. So this is what I'm telling you, that just because maybe you took more time and effort on something doesn't necessarily mean it was the better date, because you could have, it was no sweat for what you did, and the girl might be more impressed with what you did versus the other guy that he was planning this out strategically for days. Like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. He really put his mind and his intention behind
it. But what Jen is saying is, like, she's not gonna give you the opportunity to show all that, because she's gonna pick the other dude off rip. If he says, I want to take you to this boxing tournament where I'm going to call it, and the other dude says, I want to take you to this nice restaurant, get dressed, I'll pick you up at 8. She gonna be like, I want to get dressed up, I want to look fly, I want to have a vibe at a dope experience and eat some dope food, as opposed to watching you film boxers. She don't know that celebrity boxers or whoever gonna be there, and she may not even care. It's just like, she wants the vibe that she feels like is better. So she's not gonna give you the opportunity to impress her with that other shit.
And then to me, when you say that too, the focus, the second date that Jen talked about, that focus made it about her, not about C. So to me, if you take them somewhere else, the focus is about what's all going on when the focus is supposed to be about me and her.
As a matter of
that's why I don't like movies.
Let me say this.
I don't think you guys are hearing me. Like, y'all just going with what Jen's saying. Y'all not hearing me.
Listen. As a matter of fact, wait.
I'm going with what I'm saying. What I'm saying.
Please pause. The fighter complex, I know this is something that happens a lot on other panels. It doesn't happen here. All the men here are fucking fully grown. Most are involved and have wives. They don't agree with me just because I got tits. I just want to put that out there. So please don't say that on my panel. Do not say that they're just agreeing with me just because. They are agreeing with me because I am speaking logically, not because I have a pair of tits. So you insult me and you insult them by saying that. All right? They have their own minds.
I'm not insulting you.
I know they have their own minds, and we disagree plenty. My point was, it all depends on who you're asking out. If you're asking out a woman to go to your job with you who hasn't seen shit, she may be interested. Guess what? I know boxers. I know celebrities. They're in my contacts. I'm in the entertainment industry. So a guy that's planning a date with me at an expensive restaurant and a helicopter ride, yes, is going to be more appealing to me than you taking me ringside, where I'm going to be attracted to the boxer that's probably stronger than you and has more money, or the guy putting on the show, because women are hypergamous. So you take me to your job and give me a badge, and I can, like you said, leave with the owner of the place because we're going to have more in common. So you have to be very careful when you take women around a certain crowd of men, because women are naturally hypergamous. Trust me, take it from a woman. We're always looking for who is the guy who can bring home 2 buffalo versus the guy that's bringing home 1 buffalo. That is nature. That is life. Now, if you're gonna get some round the way girl that ain't never been around celebrities and would love to be there sitting with a badge in the front row, then you batting 1,000. But you have to use discernment. You have to get to know the woman that you want to take out on a date. That's my only point.
I have a question for a fighter.
Go ahead.
Ain't left.
Do you think? What's that? Do you think that applying lesser or minimum energy is just the safer option?
No, that wasn't my point. My thing is that your effort doesn't equate like the result that you want. Like, oh, I want her, so I'm gonna put in all this effort. That doesn't necessarily, because there might be nothing that you could do, and the other guy might put in less effort and could get her, and that's a reality. Because like an example.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
You'll forget that she chose.
Okay, no. Finish, please finish.
No. But we're talking.
No, give him a chance. Give him a chance to speak.
We're talking beforehand,
this
right?
young brother's been respectful. This young brother's been respectful.
Absolutely.
Give him a chance to speak. I'm asking him a question. Continue, brother.
Haran, like an example, right? Let's say Jen, she doesn't know either guy that well, right? She's just she's learning the guys, right? So then there's one guy, she doesn't know all the effort that he put behind the date. She's just down to go. Like, okay, I'm down to give him a try. And she's willing to do the same thing with the other guy. She might pick the other guy who put less effort in, and it was effortless, but she doesn't really know that because he was smoother, he was cooler, and he showed a really good time. She says, wow, it seems like he has his life together. And versus with the other guy too, because maybe Jen has gone a helicopter ride, maybe she's gone on a helicopter rides before, right? Or maybe Jen maybe she has a lot of celebrity friends, or she's popular, she just hasn't experienced a boxing fight yet. And maybe I could introduce it to something new. And that's my point. That just because I put in more effort.
Well, wait 1 second. Let me respond to him. Go ahead. You see, here's the thing. Here's the thing, young brother. I understand what you're saying. The overall point I think that's being addressed here is that don't worry about that, man. You move how you move. You work on your game, you work on your package. If that doesn't work on her end, if you want to bat 1,000, you know what I mean, that's how I move. And if that doesn't work out for that particular, you know what I mean, woman, then it just doesn't work out. Sometimes you gotta understand that we have to give women the space on, you know what I mean, to not only be women but be human. Sometimes she's just not feeling anybody at that moment in time. Sometimes she's just not calling anybody back. You know what I mean? She might have been on a great date with those 2-3 brothers, all of them. They might all be great options. But she just might be like, I don't feel like dating no fucking body right now. You know what I mean? And that's just that. But the point of the matter is this. A lot of times, I see it now, especially with young guys, you get too caught up in this whole, well, what if she this and what if she that? You know what I mean? Just fucking do it. Stop worrying about what if, and that's why a lot of times y'all don't really move and progress in life because y'all worry about what if. Pull the lever, make a move, take action. That's the shit women love.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely a sniper.
Action.
I'm definitely a sniper.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, take action, move, make a decision, and stand by your decision. There's been times in my life when, you know what I mean, I made a move on a woman, blah, 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 and it didn't work. I said, all right, fuck it. You charge it to the game and you keep it pushing. You know what I mean? I don't do all that. Me personally, I don't do all that what if shit. I don't do all that what if shit and so on and so forth. Because you know what? You keep doing that what if shit, you're going to what if your shit, or you're going to what if yourself out of a great life, man. You're going to what if yourself out of a great woman.
All right, that's not what I'm talking. All right, gotcha.
I understand. I just want to respond and fighter. I understand what he said though, because it's like, yeah, if I'm used to a certain dating pool, something more simple may be more interesting or intriguing to me. That happens. That absolutely happens. Okay,
It
I'm used
does.
to the helicopter ride. I'm used to the celebrities. I'm used to that. And somebody comes by and say, hey, I see you like working out. I know this place where we could hike, blah, blah, blah. That may be interesting to me. But never forget the nature of the woman, where that's going to be a cute time with you and fun time with you. It's going to wear thin on me because I'm used to a certain type of thing. So yeah, we could get all cuddly, but then I'm going to meet the guy who owns the mountain. And that's all I'm trying to explain to you. That's all I'm trying to explain to you. But yeah, you may be more interesting than the helicopter guy. Not for long though. That's just life. That's how women are. That's all I'm saying.
Oh no, okay. What I was saying was that, like, an example, fucking let's say you dated David Beckham, and then versus a guy that makes the same amount of money that he does, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let's say David Beckham, he put in less effort onto the date. It was just cool. He just, hey, let's go hang out. Versus a guy that makes equivalent to him, and he put way more effort onto the date. Just because the other guy put in more effort doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna choose him. You're gonna choose the guy.
Why are we discussing less effort? You should always be
No.
the gate.
No,
Like, why are we
no,
talking less effort?
no, because you're pumping the idea that if you really want something, you're gonna get it, especially when it comes to a woman. It doesn't work like that.
If she really feeling you, if really feeling you,
that's what I was
effort
saying.
is not. It's gonna if she's really feeling. If she sees there's never going to be a situation where everything is going to be equal. There's two guys. It's not going to be two twins who grew up exactly the same, look exactly the same, work out the same, make, and then one went the different way, is a celebrity and he can do all this stuff, and one is just a regular guy. Women will rank you in order of how attractive you are to them. And I'm not just talking about physically attractive, I'm talking about the whole package of attraction. So they will rank you. So if the guy who's putting in the lesser effort, like you said, is more attractive, maybe whatever she deems valuable, attractiveness, physically fit, tall, whatever, she will probably say, okay, I'm going to go to the one that I'm more attracted to, of course. But if that's not the case, if the other one is more tall, physically fit, or whatever, plus he's doing something that he's putting in more effort to impress her, of course you're gonna go with the other dude. It's all, you can't. Nothing will always be equal. There's not two people exactly the same doing two separate things, and she has to pick. It'll never be like that. She already knows who she's rocking with, and then it's on to the other person she's not rocking with to step his game up and make her show that, no, I'm just as valuable or more valuable than that other person. I'm your number two. Let me do what I need to do to move myself up to the number one spot.
But when you look at it, there's an interesting dynamic going on. It's funny, Don Levon, because as he's talking, I'm thinking about rom-com movies, like where it's like the farmer guy wins over the girl who was dating the rich guy. There's an interesting dynamic. Like the guys in the chat who insist like they're not going to spend any money and women aren't worth it and it's all about coffee. I notice their dialogue is usually like this, right? Women will never be yours. It was only your turn. And then you have Marcus who's echoing that. Javier Colon, yeah, that part. Now, these are the two gentlemen who are talking about not spending money and coffee dates. And then we have the other men, the men that are married and successful and are doing well financially. And they're talking about they don't give a fuck about spending money on dates. So we're looking at two different dynamics of men. The men that are plumb out of luck with women are usually not in the best financial position. Sorry, respectfully, I am saying that. So they're watching their pennies and they're mad that they're in this world where it's all about abundance. It's all about you better have money, you better have the bag, you better have the bag. And a lot of those men feel out of place in this world because it's all about the bag. So when they look at men who are financially stable, who are married, who are attractive, they feel a ways. They become simps. So they just agreeing with Jen because she's a woman. But you have to look at the different dynamics. You have to look at the different dynamics. And I think it's because men do not date in their lane. They want that woman over there when that woman over there belongs in a different dating pool. So they become bitter and then everybody has to pay with a coffee date. But when you look at the different dynamics, they're so different. They're literally on opposite sides of the spectrum. These men here hate women. They're not worth it. They're not going to spend not more than a coffee date. And then the men here are like, I don't give a fuck if I spend $100 on a steak because I had to eat too. And if she ain't with it, bye, on to the next. So the dynamic.
But I love women though.
I think we're conflating effort with resources. That's what it sounds like this whole time. Like if I have the resources, it doesn't matter how much effort I put in. I can make a phone call because I'm like, hey, helicopter ride. I know Jimmy. I'm going to call Jimmy. Hey, Jimmy, I need it for Saturday. It sounds like we're conflating effort and resources.
Resources. Okay. Right. So the resources is automatically gonna get it. That's what you're telling me.
No.
But every time you refer to effort, you bring out resources. Like it's like conflating resources.
Because women,
my first helicopter ride was not with a man that was wealthy by any means. My very first helicopter ride was not. He just wanted to surprise me, but it was my first time in a certain city, and he wanted me to see the city from the sky. He had a regular job.
New York City, you could do that. You could do that. New York City, a little 15-minute helicopter.
You could do
it. You know what? And I'll say it again, man. I mean, I get what Fighter Complex is saying, but bro, you're still gonna come down. It is nothing to do. See, you know how much effort you put into it. And that other guy, he don't know that he's not putting no effort into it. Maybe the effort that he's putting forward, you may feel that he didn't have to put forward no effort, but you don't know that level of that guy to say that. And what I'm saying that for is that when it all comes down to it, that's why I say I go back to nature. Those females in nature still end up being the one to choose that male who she's gonna mate with. No matter, both of them can sit there and dance, do the same thing, but she's still gonna look at him and yeah, I'm gonna roll with him. So it's not, I don't want you to take that like if it happens in your life, like it's a loss, because it's not. It's just that she chose what was best for her. So all is okay, well, she chose him. Okay, cool. It's nothing. Don't look at that like it's a loss for you or like, oh, now I'm down and out. I just can't win. No, you just couldn't win her. But we are outnumbered here. Y'all are, I can't say y'all are. I'm good. I'm married. You guys are outnumbered. You mean like for every man, there's like darn near 40 women there. You are gonna definitely hit one. You know,
I'm Dominican, bro. The women treat me lovely. I'm not mad.
Oh, nice.
I was just,
You had us doing all this talking about this, and now I'm joking.
You treat me good.
We up here thinking you just
this kind of feels.
I got a question real quick, Tristan. I just got a question. It's a fighter.
Go ahead.
So, bro, you know what I mean? I'm again. What you're basically saying is that okay, if you're gonna go through why go through all the rigmarole and the maximum effort, and you don't know whether or not you're gonna get her? What if
no, that's not. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, at the end of the day, like Jen would say, or you guys were saying, the woman is up to her to choose. So that first date, it doesn't matter how extravagant, and a date doesn't have to cost a lot of money to be extravagant, to be nice, or to be fun, right? What I'm saying is, the amount of effort you put into a woman doesn't necessarily mean what she's gonna be into you or not.
Okay, like I just said that. I just asked you.
Right, because we can make the argument. Pre-selection is a thing, right?
Yeah, but I just said that, and you just repeated what I said. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be a matter
then my bad. I ain't hear it.
No. I'm just stating that. So, but here's the thing. Okay, I go to Vegas. I go to a Vegas casino. Correct. You know, I go there. What are you trying to play? What are you trying to play if you go to Vegas?
For gambling?
Yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? You're trying to play blackjack.
I don't really like to gamble that much, but blackjack. Yeah, blackjack, that's like something that I know.
Play slots. Okay, so usually when I go to casinos, the areas that I usually fill with the most people are the slot areas. And a lot of times it's usually filled with with a whole bunch of people. Because a whole bunch of people really they want to win big, but they want to invest a small amount as much as possible. Many of them are hoping to, you know what I mean, throwing a couple of coins in there and then boom, they're like $100,000 up and so on and so forth. The people that's really trying to have a good time, the people that's really trying to have some memories, They're at the poker tables, at the blackjack tables, and they betting big. You know what I mean? And you
Right.
can use that as a metaphor for life. A lot of times, those who really do win in life, who really do, you know what I mean, experience everything that life has to offer, they bet as big as they possibly can, because their real resources allow them to. If you constantly, you know what I mean, just put in enough or a little, you know what I mean, and hope to get big, you might hit, you know what I mean, but more times than not, you're gonna live an average existence. Now, me personally, if I'm trying to, you know what I mean, go out on a date with a woman, of course I'm trying to impress her. I'm also trying to have a nice time, man. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And nice times, especially in New York, that shit ain't cheap. You
Oh, yeah,
know,
we know that,
and if
brother.
shit works out, you know what I'm saying? I mean, and if the shit don't work out, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? I fortunately have a life that allows me to, you know what I mean, not give a fuck if the date don't work out financially. But I'm trying to have a nice time, man. I'm not trying to sit here and think about all these things and all these what ifs and and all these scenarios. And when you think about a lot of those things, you know what you know what you do? You don't concentrate on the date, man. You don't concentrate on
Yeah.
the actual moment. You know what I mean? The
I
actual
think
situation that's weighing, because you worry about a whole bunch
They
of other shit.
anticipate failing.
I think
Yeah,
what happened.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
I'm gonna just keep. Let me just keep it simple for the young brothers that listening, maybe watching now or like listening on the replay or what have you. Do your due diligence to find out what really moves the chick that you're trying to rock with. What really gets her
Exactly.
shit wet. If it's status, money, excitement, and you ain't got none of that, don't fuck with her. Don't try to change your mind by saying I'm gonna expose you to something else. Don't try to do it, because you're just gonna be spitting in the wind. If you got other things, if you're not at that level where she either is or wants to be for whatever reason, go kick it with the chicks because there's bad chicks at every level. There's bad chicks that want millionaires. There's bad chicks that'll date the dude working at Target. There's bad chicks everywhere. So rock with the chick. Don't try to spin your wheels trying to convince a chick who's hypergamy and wears it like a fucking badge of honor to change her mind. Because then it's just gonna make you like some of these cats we run across that are just mad. Be like, oh my God, that bad chick who was popping bottles with Future at the club didn't want to holler at me. Bitches ain't shit. No, you just tried to punch out of your weight class, and and you got fucking
Absolutely.
smacked down. That's the way it is. So stay
Essentially,
in your lane or change your fucking lane. That's all you can
Now,
do.
now my jokes handle all weight classes. I'm sorry, I can't agree with Dame on that one. I have yet to lose with these jokes. I'm sorry.
My bad.
understand that, and also understand that a woman may find you attractive, but if you're putting in minimum effort, you're always at risk with the guy that's putting in maximum effort.
I can tell you this, man, just from experience, because being in medicine, there's a lot of people I know, a lot of colleagues and doctors and all that I know that they are on that level. And what good does it do that the woman may feel that she has this guy, but then it ends because of some craziness? You know what I mean? So what good? That's what I'm saying. It's so I think the building the foundation initially is so lost that people are so caught up in superficial stuff. And if the superficial stuff is the foundation, then that's always going to fail. When it comes to money, should have nothing to do with the dynamics of your relationship. It just shouldn't. I get that, like I said, I get in today's world, you guys have this thing, what I talked about. I actually did a TED talk on this where I said perception can become greater than reality. A lot of these people today are being sold a perception and they perceive it as if it's truth, but indeed it's not reality. All this stuff, I mean, everybody, all this Instagram modeling stuff and all that stuff is a perception. You're taught just to perceive that. You're taught to look at that and say, that's their lifestyle. That's their, and when you really get with them, and if they're so shallow-minded, shallow-brained, but they got a bad body, it's like, what good is that going to, that's not going to be a relationship. That's going to be all superficiality. It's going to amount to nothing, But I think that's lost. I think people actually, it's a speech by Charlie Chaplin that said, he said, don't give yourselves to Bruce. Men who despise you, enslave you, they regiment your life, tell you what to do, what to think, and what to feel. And that's exactly what I feel like that's going on in all these spaces right here, is that a lot of people don't even know what they actually really do want. They've been told what to want. They've been told what to do. They've been told what to think. They've been told what to feel. And, you know, and so like I said, to me, it's amazing. I know I got people look at me and they say, dude, what in the world? You got married young. I was 19. My wife was 25. She was out of college. I'm getting out of high school. I went to college on a full-ride scholarship, man. I'm telling you, listen to it. I'll just get done. I'll say this, okay? While I was in school on a full-ride scholarship, my wife was pregnant with our first child. I went to school from 7 to noon. Then I had track practice from 1 o'clock to 3. And then I went and worked at a furniture store from 4 o'clock to 11 o'clock. I would come home. My wife would hand off my first son because she needed to sleep. I'm rocking my son and my legs like this while studying the books, going through the medical field, right? And so, yeah, we are my sons now are 20 years. One is 20 and one is 18 years old. And my sons, based off of what they've seen, how their dad was and what they're being taught and the principles I taught them when it comes to females, they don't have this issue that I'm seeing a lot of young fellows on this internet have, man. It's because, again, and Jen just got done saying it herself. I wish there was other women on here that can confirm that, man. They all, nobody has to teach when something is funny, like Tristan just made a joke. When something is funny, nobody had to teach you how to laugh. If somebody do something that's offensive, nobody had to teach you to get mad. Nobody has to teach you to, know what I'm saying? Those things are instinctively done. So what I'm saying that for is that's nature. So if these things are coming now that actually draws women to these men, already men are going in defeated because they're thinking, I got to have this, that, da, 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 da. And if you go in with a losing attitude and your tomorrow looks just like today, then y'all get to a point to where what's the point of even trying? That's why you hear these guys in there, I ain't wasting no time with no woman. That's because their tomorrow looks just like today. And if today sucks and today I don't have no woman and today, da, 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 then what's the point of trying? And that's all you hear is defeat. And I'm sorry. I know you say you don't have no problem with women there. My boys, they will not surround themselves with folks that's like that at all.
Woo! Thank you for raising them boys. Thank you. Same thing with Damien. There's some of you who are fathers, and I'm just glad y'all are the ones raising some of these boys. To go back to what you said, Modern, how people are telling people how to feel online. Again, the rest of the package just appeared in the chat. Both them dudes are what? Kevin Samuels fanatics. They're throwing his name in the chat. So these guys literally come with the package. They don't want to waste time with women, coffee dates, and they quote Kevin Samuels. Like they literally come with the package. This is what is out there. These guys are not young. Okay, these guys, and they're not 16, 17, 18. These guys are not young. They're in their 30s, still listening to a dead man, still repeating a dead man, and still not getting laid. Something's not working.
Listen, I keep telling you, let it be, because that's more for me. What did you not get? I love Kevin Samuels. He has made it easier for me. It's not that difficult of an equation.
How has he made it?
Stop. Listen, you know how many girls will sit there and say, oh, you have a sense of humor. You're not alpha. Oh, I could be goofy with you. You know how easy it is now?
It gets you nowhere. No, you're nowhere. You're right now in my chat looking at us. You're nowhere, Javier.
Listen. Stop trying to help these Kevin Samuels men, okay? Listen, they lost in the sauce. Let them be. It helps me out, okay? I do not care. It helps me.
In life, some people win, some people lose. It's happened since the Garden of Eden.
I just want to say something. Something happened today that was mad surprising and shocking to me. I actually agreed with most of Joanna's points today. Me and Joanna were on the same page. Joanna, I'm just letting you know, I was feeling your points today. You had some really valid points that I'm rocking with. So just had to show you some love.
Listen, if it ain't about race, Joanna, y'all agree with Joanna. I'm telling you. Listen, she's not wrong about what Moshi said.
Coffee date guy. All right, guys. Well, this started as first of all, thank you so much, Modern Renaissance Man. You were a delight, and you're the type of person we love on the block with Jen. I'm sure all the guys can agree. Fighter Complex, you are welcome to come back whenever you like.
Of course.
Okay, this was.
I like Fighter, man.
I
like Fighter. He got some potential.
This was the subject today. Are starter wives not fit for fame? But then we went everywhere else, which is fine. I wish we would have had these guys on earlier to discuss that, because I would have liked to hear what they had to say about that.
Oh, wow. I should have been on that.
Can I say one thing about that, Jen?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So when I forgot what's her name, Derrick Jackson's wife. I forgot her name.
I don't know. I don't remember her name either.
Okay. Right. So at first I was kind of defending her like years, like a year ago when it first came out, the story about him cheating or whatever, right? I'm like, guys, leave her alone. She's natural. She's all natural. Like, she's earthy. Leave her alone. But now I'm looking at her like, nah, like go through your hair or something, comb it or something,
That's
gel
what I
it
was
up.
saying.
Gel it
Man,
up.
she could have been right next to him on the treadmill, right next to him when he was on working out. She could have been right next to him, getting her body tight.
Wait, she's not.
You hella tough. That's terrible.
Wait, but in her defense, and we can't get into this again because we are going to close, but in her defense, okay, she was with him when he looked on the left.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that when she was with him, he looked like that.
Yeah.
She should have been more self-aware, knowing, okay, when he looked on the right, she should be like, I need to get in that gym too.
Damn.
He gonna start feeling himself. He gonna start feeling himself.
Not because she went and took care of them kids. That's what happened. I said.
My wife. We got 3 kids. My youngest is 5, and my wife stay on that treadmill.
I mean, that's all it takes, man. That's all it takes, man. It takes 15 minutes and 15 push-ups. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you, Fahim Jackson. Thank you for the super chat. Fahim said, Jen, I'm tired of people misusing Kevin's name. These guys in the chat are not Kevin Samuels fans. They use his name to piss off women. Kevin always said, lead with your wallet. So Kevin wasn't preaching coffee dates? These guys sure hell bent on that coffee. Okay.
But I don't know why you leave with your wallet. I said, listen, one thing I do know, women pay attention. If they know you are spending like crazy, they like, oh, this motherfucker is very spontaneous with his money. I can't trust him. Listen, it's a what's a catch-22. So no, just move on. Like,
ain't nobody telling you be
have
I mean, with
mastered
your
it.
money. I mean,
I guess
have you not met
I
these
guess
men?
I'll bump into some strange women because I can be damned if a motherfucker ain't trying to hook up with me when they find out I'm spending some paper. So I don't know, man.
Shout out to the guy spending paper on dates, okay? Y'all don't get enough.
Look, man, I'm trying to have a nice time with some nice, pretty girls, man. Come on, man. When did this become a crime? When did this become a crime, man?
Haran, how did Jay-Z say?
I like taking men out on dates too. For the record, I like to reciprocate.
Haran, how did Jay-Z say? You at a table full of men. I'm at a banquet full of women. Full of girls.
Exactly, man. Like, come on, man.
But that's the thing, though, right? These men will sit there and don't spend no money. I get it, but I'm also like, listen, little girls sit there and say, "Oh, I gotta go to work. How much is for the day?" That's it. I'll pay for your work day. Listen. Is how much do they charge? What is like what a whole day's maybe $300?
Nah, but then like, she gonna make that $300 and get fired. And then you're gonna have to support her the whole time.
listen. It's COVID season. I don't want to hear that. You better cough.
Tristan,
hey, I'm gonna tell you something. If I ever look wrong, I've been with my wife 18 years, married for 15. I don't know what it's like to be single in modern age, but if I ever went to a woman and was like, hey, don't go to work. How much you make? You make $400. I'm gonna give you that $400. And she do it. She ain't never gonna see me again because that is an irresponsible ass chick who ain't got her priorities straight. And it's gonna be
swear, man, I say all the time. To me, honestly, if I was the age I am right now in this day and age, these guys get pissed off when I say this. I'm like, it'd be easy.
Yeah. Oh my God,
it'd be too easy because these guys already.
I told Jen that shit last week. I was like, Jen, it's easier now to get women than when I was coming up. When I was coming up, you had to put in a little bit more effort. Now,
you got to do like the Michael Jackson and stuff, and
look,
you had to follow them and try to dance next to him and stuff. And
man, you don't know how many chicks.
Your teeth got to be white. The shit is easy.
It should be way easy because these kids, these young cats are on some funny style shit.
It's so easy for me. Listen, this is why I love Kevin Samuels. Listen, Kevin Samuels made them perfect for me, where I'm just like, hey, I do what my sisters did. Listen, I have options. Listen, now it's, hey, you want to be the star player? You need to put some extra reps in after practice. You get what I'm saying? That's how it goes now. Listen, it is what it is. I'm doing what the women do. They had their options where they like, hey, the name of the game is the best survival of the fittest. Hey, now I have leverage. It is what it is.
Gosh, Tristan. Are we coming back tomorrow? Modern, I'd love for you to come back. Fighter, I'd love for you to come back. So we can
definitely come back. Yeah.
What's the topic tomorrow?
Yo no sé.
We'll
You know
figure
I
it out.
post it.
Yeah.
It should be the new grifter in the manosphere. The new grifter, the Asian girl. I love her. Oh my
there's
god.
a new one. There's a new one.
Yeah, a new infiltrator who came in that black man done let in the quack house.
Listen, you know I don't promote them bitches. You know me better than that. Stop.
Instead of just Pearly's, just Ling Ling. All right, let's go.
Oh, I'm not touching that one.
Well,
I'm not touching that.
Let's
I'm
stop.
not touching
All right,
that
cut
one.
the show. Let's cut
All right,
the show. All right,
good night,
Tristan,
good night,
let's
y'all.
go.
Good night, good night.
Good night,
All right,
man.
brother.
Modern said I'm out. That's racist.
It sure is.
Tristan, what you got? Thank you, Chevelle. Love you. Come back. What you got, Tristan? How we gonna say goodbye to folks tonight? This is a good one.
I'll be nice because we were talking about effort and stuff at the end,
Yeah, let's
and
be nice.
what people do.
We could be nice.
People think they're
Don't forget to
think
support the show.
hypergamy and this and that. Okay, so I have a quote that I found earlier. Okay, it's not bad. Just put me on the big screen. Don't compare your behind the scenes to everybody else's highlight reels.
Ooh.
Facts.
I love you all. Class is dismissed.
Yo, good night.
Good night, guys. All right, guys, if you're still here for any strange reason, please hit that like and subscribe on your way out the door. Subscribe if you like we saw here. Like I said, I have the best panels ever, okay? Grown and sexy all the time. I hope you like this topic tonight. Don't forget On the Block with Jen on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, and at Gmail if you want to hit me with a topic or some behind the scenes conversation or collaboration or an interview. Don't forget to hit me Cash App if you want to support the show, On the Block with Jen as well. I am easy to find. I am everywhere On the Block with Jen. All right, guys, good night. Hope you enjoyed. Glad we got some new participants tonight. That's always exciting. And good night. And for anybody in the chat who doesn't like my channel, my platform, my panelists, my opinions, fuck off. Like, unsubscribe. Don't show back up in the chat. Don't come through here. I don't want you to torture yourself. Don't go into 2023 torturing yourself with my dialogue, with my content, with my panel. Don't do it to yourself. Free yourself, homie. Don't come back here. To the rest of you, thank you so much for supporting and always showing up and giving me your opinion. And remember, we don't always agree because we're not supposed to, okay? All right, guys, good night. Love you all. Free yourself. Free yourself. Good night, guys. See you mañana.